felt like a bigger performance than 11 touches with some of the marks he took and what he showed. They're really excited about him.
Oh, random spots. Andrew Brayshaw has got rid of the beard. The beard is gone. Decided that one game was enough. So it's a clean-shaven Andrew Brayshaw out there for Fremantle supporters. Not that this means anything particularly, I absolutely admit, but sometimes you spot these things from downstairs. Also worth noting, Max Gawn, 8-time All-Australian, 2-time best and fairest winner, premiership player, 34 years of age. Today will equal Nathan Jones for the second most games captained for the Melbourne Football Club. So he goes alongside Nathan Jones with 130 appearances, either as acting captain or captain for the Demons. So that is a tremendous performance for Max Gawn. We don't hear a lot of that sort of stuff, but it is just an incredible effort to go alongside Nathan Jones, who captained Melbourne with, well, through some pretty tough times for a long time. Max Gawn's had certainly a bit more success than he's had to as well. I really like some of the kids from the Demons, and while I say that, we're talking 20 and 19-year-olds. Harvey Langford, Xavier Lindsay they've been really impressive. I like what they've shown. Latrell Pickett, I know he only played his second game, but yeah, he kicked a ripper of a goal last week as well. So if they're a side that is looking to build again, where do you see them on their journey at the moment? Sharad, Cara?
Well, it's exactly that. I think, Clint, getting games into your young kids, if Colton does go to a sarong, that's the only way he's going to get better. Running with the best of the best and learning how to win his own ball, but also nullifying a really good opposition player. So I think the more games and experience you can get into this young group under the new coach, the better. They've obviously employed a new game style, which is much more exciting, but we've already only seen one game, but it looks much more exciting than what we've been used to in the past. So I'm just excited to see what the D's show under new coach across the year and how that builds.
I think that they're obviously really early on, but I was impressed when King came in over the off-season and had the courage to make some big decisions, and I think that it sets the tone really nicely for the club to have that fresh slate and have a fresh feel around the club. They lost some really great players. Trucker's obviously absolutely in ripping form at the moment, so they're probably ruining that one a bit.
Until the hamstring that he copped today, so probably 3 weeks, yeah.
Damn. But yeah, I think that they're obviously right at the start of their journey, but new game style, new players under the new coach, I think that it's exciting time for them.
Again, really small sample size, but Brody Mychek's 3 goals, they were really good, very good, just what they sort of needed. And I like what Jaff does as well, Chunkoff Jaff coming in. He does have the ability to rebound as a footballer.
Absolutely. I think that Mychek's just going to fill the gap for the time being. Because they've got obviously Van Rooyen, who's a mountain of talent, but young. So have Mychek in there to kind of guide him through this next couple of years. I don't know how Mychek's 34, 35. So if they can get 2 or 3 years out of him, 33. So you get 2 or 3 years out of him to just kind of help that development of Van Rooyen. I think
was there any surprise? He kicked 6 last week, Jacob Van Rooyen, in a match where Brody Mychek's finally there helping him.
Yeah.
There's probably no coincidence. It's not like this is what they brought him in for, to play and Tom McDonald did it for years, where he was just the contest leader, do it. And now they've got a guy who's a little bit younger and not in his prime, but still playing really good football in Brody Mychek.
And has huge
so
experience.
Reliable.
And Collingwood have missed him already.
But the thing about Mychek, he's reliable. He's hard-working. He hits contests. You know what you're going to get from him. And so that's what I think will give Van Rooyen confidence out there and make him walk a bit taller, having that guidance inside the forward half.
Both teams still warming up downstairs here at Perth Stadium. It's Fremantle versus Melbourne. Earlier today, Gold Coast big winners over Richmond, a thumping win for the Suns earlier today. And just an update for you, St Kilda's lead is stretched out to 22 points now. The game in Western Sydney at Blacktown. I beg your pardon, not at Blacktown, at Homebush. 22 points the Saints lead. 11-11-77 to GWS 7-13-15. That's 23 minutes gone there. That game, of course, a little bit delayed due to lightning in the area, so it had to be put back twice due to lightning strikes in the area around Homebush. I mean, hopefully that that weather continues to stay away, with the Matildas taking on Japan a little bit later on, 5 o'clock WA times. We'll keep you right across that, give you any of the goals that are scored. If you want to listen to that, go on the ABC Listen app, and you'll be able to find yourself the Asian Cup button. That's the place to listen to Ned Hall as he broadcasts the entire game, wherever you happen to be on ABC Listen. The Tillies trying to win their first Asian Cup since 2010 up against Japan, the number 1 ranked team in Asia and certainly the favourites for this competition. So for the Fremantle Dockers, huge opportunity here to draw the level square after being really disappointing the way that the game slipped by them last week. How costly is Hayden Young to this team, though? I'm keen to get both of your thoughts. You know I'm a huge fan. I know he's out again, and unfortunately it's the different hamstring, the one that's given him real issues. But I think of all the players that they could afford to be without, Hayden Young would be... Well, he'd be on the podium. He'd be in their top 3 of the players you can't afford to miss if you're Freo.
And he's the one who fuels that style of game that they want to use. So damaging with ball in hand. His skill is, it's pretty much unmatched in the side, really. Sarong obviously really damaging with hands, but Young's foot is what makes him so damaging. Yeah, he's definitely... You're right, Clint. Definitely top 3 most important players that they would not want to have missing.
And as a very, very long-term contract for a player that, since signing that extension for another, was it now 7 years already from now on, and has barely been on the park since he signed it. It's just one of those little side notes that'll always be attached to him now as well every time he gets hurt.
Yeah, I think he's got to go and do what Cyril Rioli did and change his running gait, because he's got quite a...
Yep.
It's not a waddle,
it's not
but
smooth.
It's a straight, and that kind of combined with a lot of ground balls and things that he would be getting, I think is what's putting that extra stress through his strings. And Cyril went and did that and came back and was a different player after that. He went and invested that time into changing his running gait. So it's a big ask, but he's young enough to take the time and go and do that, Cara.
No, definitely, and I think he's the player that just changes the look for them inside as well. I think we mentioned it last year when he went out. I don't think they can go all the way without him. He's just so dynamic. He's got an elite left foot, but just really hard matchup as well, and then goes forward and can hit the scoreboard.
Toss has been done in the middle between Max Gawn and Alex Pearce. The Dockers captain wins, and they will kick the Dockers to the city end of the ground, the right of our broadcast position, Melbourne, to the Graham Farmer Freeway end. And just quickly, well done to Clint Wilder on his 500th AFL call today.
Woo,
I know he doesn't want me to mention it, but talking of milestones, Clint Wilden, well done on 500 AFL calls.
We should have made you a banner or something.
I wanted to. I was going to get me an inflatable eagle.
You know how I love that inflatable eagle. They put bagpipes on the roof alongside the guitarist. We better head downstairs. He's only got 20 seconds to tell us what it's like down there. Cash Bodadar, welcome.
Absolutely pumped down here. The crowd is building. It's good to have footy back in the West. It is perfect conditions for football. On the bench for Freo, Ian McVie, Darcy, the debutant Sherry, O'Driscoll and Wagner. And for Melbourne, Latrell Pickett, Harry Sharp, Jack Steele, Xavier Lindsay and Blake House starting on the bench.
There's a huge roar around Perth Stadium. The Dockers are back at home. And I know it's only round 2, but they need a win to show the Purple Faithful just what they're capable of in 2026. The Demons are the opponents. They're up and about. They're 1 from 1. Who prevails? Will it be Freo or Melbourne? Good you could be with us here on ABC Sport. To get us started, Mitch Turner.
Gawn opposed to Jackson, the premiership teammates head-to-head, and we're underway. It's Jackson who rows his own work for the Dockers. Handball to Sarong. Running in the wrong direction. Wheels back on the left. The Dockers go inside 50. Tracy can't mark it. Spills to Salem. Kicks it back into the middle of the ground for Melbourne. Over the head of Pearce. At the back, Chapman was tackled by Fritsch. Pearce back over the top for the Dockers. Ball's bobbling around in the centre square. The Dockers captain is tackled by a couple of Demons. We'll have a ball up back in the middle of the ground here at Perth Stadium.
And you're right, Shaz, Tallchop's gone straight to Sarong.
We're standing next to this contest. Ball in the air, Gawn taps it down. Only the way of Clark though for the Dockers. Tumbles the ball forward of field. Great pick up by Amos. Handball across to Dudley. Runs to 50. From the paint he misses right. sneaks in for a minor score. Early chance for the Dockers. It's one behind. Melbourne yet to score. We've played almost a minute in this opening term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Less than 2 minutes to play in Sydney. The Saints lead has been cut to 9 points there. Genuine pressure. Here's Jaff going on a bit of a run. To the right back pocket, kicks towards right half back. 2-on-2 battle. And Royan was there, won it down. Bolton emerges with it, breaks a tackle. Will kick inside forward 50. He wants Voss. Jaff's furled it down. Here's an opportunity for Reid off the outside of the right boot. Tries to work it towards goal. Didn't quite get enough on it. Bounces away for the Demons. They can bring it beyond defensive 50. And rising trying to mark was Myercheck. Spilled down to Fritsch. Myercheck no mark. Fritsch was there. On towards Pickett. Now to Tolstrup. Tolstrup from centre wing. Hand passes over the top. Finds Langford. Not a great hand pass. He wanted to find Cozzy Pickett. Instead, mopping it up there was Sarong. Goes through the hands of Jackson. Now Clark for the Dockers. On in turn to Brayshaw.
Back to Jackson by hand. Dangerous one inside to Murphy Reid. Gets the ball away to Clark. From the edge of the square, kicks it up towards half forward. Voss has time to gather. Handball to Switkowski. 51 from goal. Spots the target at the top of the square. Too much for Tracy. Has to track it back in the left forward pocket. Handball missed Dudley. The Demons through Sparrow turn it over. Now Jaff is tackled. Tracy met him halfway. Takes him to ground. We'll have a ball up. Left forward pocket. About 15 to 20 metres around from the Dockers attacking goal. Umpire gets underway quickly. Jackson tapped it back into the corridor. Sparrow stole it. Had his kick smothered by Bolton. Snaps towards goal. It's another minor score. That's 2 of them for Fremantle. Melbourne haven't hit the scoreboard yet. We've played 2.5 minutes. Round 2 action. First game of the AFL season 2026 at Perth Stadium.
Saints push their lead back to a 10-point advantage. Half an hour gone in the final term, so they should be able to hang on from there, the Saints over the Giants in Sydney. Salem beyond defensive 50. Turner has the height advantage and takes the mark for the Demons at left half back. He'll kick towards commentary wing. Ryan waited, attacking at Fritsch. Won it down for Melbourne. Came through Cozzy Pickett's hands. Now an opportunity to attack again. Langford kicks inside forward 50. Cully went up, couldn't mark. At the back, it's taken across the boundary line, cleverly by Warner. It'll be a throw-in about 35 metres out from Melbourne's attacking goal. They're heading to the left of our broadcast position. That's the Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium. The Dockers lead by 2 behinds. Melbourne yet to score. 3.5 gone in the first.
Most of the forward 50 still in the sunshine at that end of the ground. Van Rooyen doing the ruck work for the Demons. Tapped it down. Pearce for the Dockers just burst his way through. Handball stolen though by Melbourne. Langford gets it to Rivers. Little twist, little turn. Kick inside the forward 50. Jaff couldn't gather it cleanly. Luke Ryan now for the Dockers. Taps it into space. Langton after it for the Demons. Tackle. Dispossessed. Dropped the ball. Dudley got him. Holding the ball. A small forward a long way from home. No, it's a free kick going to the Dockers, but it won't be to Dudley. It goes to Chapman. He takes it quickly. Goes across his own face of goal to Clark, who kicks up the middle to Warner.
That had to be precise, and it was. Now Warner has been infringed here.
It should have been 50.
It absolutely should have been. The umpire lets them play. It's against Fritsch. Warner elects to play on. Lovely pass to Brayshaw on the logo. Hand pass over the top to Reid. Coming out, Bolton marks on his chest. 51 from goal. Thought about playing on. Reid was running on his right. He had options on his left too. Now hands it off to Brayshaw. Andrew Brayshaw goes long from 50 and kicks the Dockers first of the game. Clean shaven and a clean pair of heels running by. And Brayshaw gives the Dockers an 8-point advantage. And that comes at the 5-minute mark of the opening term. The Dockers are 1-2-8. Melbourne yet to score. You're listening to Saturday Arvo Footy on ABC Sport. Our experts, Sharad Willingham and Cara Antonio.
Just a really good bit of ball movement there. And we spoke about it pre-game. This is how they started against Geelong. The run and carry, it was Murphy Reid who ran really, really hard off the half-back line, got the handball, then hit up Bolton, and he was just really smart to give it to Brayshaw. He had a number of options, and Brayshaw kicked the major.
Brayshaw looks in career best condition. He's put on some serious muscle. He's looking
Huge.
I know everyone comes out of pre-season looking pretty good, but he looks in peak condition.
Missed origin selection and was out to make a point. Back in the middle. Tap goes the way of Bolton to the Dockers. Kicks out towards the wing. Johnson wasn't watching. Langdon, though, overran it. Spills back to Johnson for the Dockers. Handball over the top to Brayshaw. Fumbled it on 50. Now has to gather. Steps around Jaff. Handball a little hot for Murphy Reid. Going back, almost run down by Pickett. Comes to Clark, who goes short to Brayshaw, who never left the top of the 50 and was all alone. The kick found him, and he's liking his chances directly in front, but will kick from at least 53, 54 metres out. Career best condition, says Sharad Wellingham.
Oh, look at him.
Looks good, has ball in hand, doesn't go for the shot, looked to pinpoint the pass, was looking for Tracy, was cut off. The Demons win it back. Salem, tumbling kick outside defensive 50. It's rolling towards the boundary, lasso it in. No need for insufficient intent.
Touch.
Oh, it was touched. The boundary umpire called lasso. The field umpire said touched off the boot. They'll toss it in, Clint Wilden.
Saints have hung on to win by 4 points against the Giants. 11-12-78 to 10-14-74. St Kilda get their first win of the season. From the restart on the outer side, Dockers win possession. It comes through Johnson, goes back to Clark, runs onto the logo. Southern wing, kicks deep into the left forward pocket. Turner gave a little nudge, but it was okay. Into the back of Tracy, and he takes the mark defensively for the Demons. In the right back pocket, he'll move it short. This is to Rivers. Still inside his defensive 50. In the shadows of the grandstand to the city side of the ground. Short to Jaff. New Demon this year. As the bright peach-coloured boots on, puts them in motion and kicks beyond the logo on the outer side. Van Rooyen came out, should have marked it, spilt it, went to ground. McDonald for the Dockers, got a hand pass out. Brayshaw is there, back to Ryan. The late change to McDonald. Oh, poor hand pass. Cully's onto it immediately, kicked around the body to Myercheck, who marks inside forward 50. By that I mean a centimetre inside. He's 49 from goal, and he's spotted options in the right forward pocket. The kick goes the way of Langdon, who marks.
They were lining up out there. Langdon and Pickett were both standing unmarked by Freo.
I reckon it just went over Pickett's head too, and he was spewing. He couldn't go down the end of that one.
So can they get the quick response here, the Demons? Ed Langdon. Game 204, spent 68 of those with Freo. Here he comes. Close to the boundary, right forward pocket. Kick is on its way. It's a thing of beauty. Straight through the middle. Threads the needle. And Ed Langdon gives the Demons their first. They hit back to bring that margin to just 2 points. 8.5 minutes gone in the first. Freo 1-2-8. The Demons 1 straight 6. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner, our experts, Sharad Willingham and Cara Antonio.
Just trying to watch this replay. Langdon and Kickett just worked down without anybody from Fremantle going with them. But that is a remarkable kick, isn't it, from Langdon?
Really good, and it was the pressure at the source that I liked. Yes, it was a bad handball, but it was created because of the pressure from Melbourne, and then they just streamed forward, like you said, Shaz. So many options. Myercheck took the mark and was really patient in his decision-making.
That makes you want to slam the phone in the box when you see two unmarked players inside the forward 50. The Demons on the board. Jackson over, jumped it in the middle, gone. Took it out of the ruck. Handball to Tolstrip, kick inside 50 straight. The Dockers captain and Alex Pearce. Has that left arm protected. And the purple kind of cast goes to Chapman, who comes outside defensive 50 to Wagner. Corey Wagner had a very small stint at Melbourne, just 11 games, 8 at North. He now is an important part of the Dockers. Goes up the wing, big pack form, fist brought it to ground. Switkowski roved it, got it to Amos. Has to straighten up onto the left, kicks deep in towards Tracy, can't mark. Well done by Petty. Knocked it over towards Langdon. His handball, set Rivers a task, tackled by Sherry. The Dockers win it back. Tracy spills it. Langdon goes back in. Handballs to Rivers in the back pocket. Looping handball over the top to Tolstrip. His handball intercepted by Brayshaw. Little handball on the ground to Murphy Reid. Ran into trouble. The Dockers through Sherry. Back to Tracy. Handball's outside, attacking 50. McDonald run down. His handball missed the target. And that's between the arcs. So that will be a lasso.
stuffing around with it instead of just getting it deep inside their forward 50.
The Demons have the free kick just beyond right half back. Clint Wheeldon.
Like the two early chases from the debutant in Sherry. Kick for the Demons to the outer side. Van Rooyen takes a good mark against Pearce and then shoveled the hand pass meant for Cozzy Pickett. Turned it over. Reed's involved straight away to Johnson. Runs to 55 out. Johnson goes for goal. He's kicked it. First of the season for Matthew Johnson. Not a noted goal kicker, but made no mistake from the top of the arc. There was a mistake that led to it from the Demons. They turned it over just shy of the southern wing. And the Dockers pounce. 2-2-14 to 1 straight 6. 11 and a bit gone in the opening term. This is Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport on 102.5 ABC Perth, Sport Digital, and on the ABC Listen app.
Now that's a turnover goal, but Fremantle, by putting themselves in really good defensive position, blocking up that corridor, when they do turn it over, they were just lining up there, ready to go with that line of handball receives, and Johnson with a nice finish from outside 50. But it was the defensive mindset first that had them in the middle, lining up, ready to go once they were able to turn it over.
Andrew Brayshaw, 8 touches already in this game. Back in the middle. Darcy wins the tap down for the Dockers. Jack Steele couldn't handle it. Sarong, little toe poke out of the pack. Inside 50 for the Dockers. Salem off the deck, socketed into the path of Sharp. He was too slow. Wagner tackled him, dispossessed him. Now Salem comes in off support. Sherry in his first game got it to Johnson. His handball missed. Ball bobbling around inside the Dockers 50. It's working its way towards goal. Great pick up by Johnson. Handball to Murphy Reid. And there's Murphy Reid's first goal in front of the home fans this season. The 2025 rising star. He's having an impact early. The Dockers get their third, 3-2-20. They lead the Demons 1 straight 6, 12 and a half played in this first term. Saturday footy on ABC Sports. Sharrod Wellingham and Cara Antonio.
Just pressure again, but Cozzy Pickett, 2 little fumbles in a row that's cost them 2 goals, and again, just uncharacteristic like from him. He's almost spent it before he's bought it. Yeah. Just needs to slow down a little bit, but fantastic forward half pressure from the Dockers and another great finish from Murphy Reid. We spoke about him pre-game, how much maturity he's shown, I suppose, even over the first game, but loves a goal, doesn't he?
I've said it from when he first started, but he reminds me of a young Gary Ablett Jr.
Here's Cozzy Pickett looking to take it away from the restart. Has a bounce, tries to get around Jackson, puts boot to ball towards right half forward. Pearce got a touch on it, spilled down to Sparrow. Got a hand pass out to Myercheck for Melbourne. Kick towards right half, the right forward pocket. Out to try to gather was Van Rooyen. Lost it. Chapman tries to mop it up. He was tackled. Latrell Pickett goes in to try to win it himself. It's been locked in. About 47 out from the Demons' goal in the right forward pocket. In the bright sunshine here at Perth Stadium, most of the ground in shade, except the area where the umpire puts it up into the air. Came down to McVie, the former Demon. Kicks beyond defensive 50. Tracy might have been infringed. Umpire says no worries. Here's Sherry. Takes a bounce. He's still going. Then kicks long inside forward 50. Could be a telling early touch towards full forward. Real battle on now. O'Driscoll hands it off the boss. Right forward pocket. Stabbed it towards Amos. Couldn't mark. Was able to tap it back to Voss. Met by Jaff. Breaks free of the tackle. No. He's been taken high. He'll get the free kick. In the end, he did break free. But Jaff, trying to wrap him up, gave away the free kick. And Patrick Voss looking to kick Freo's fourth.
Almost dared him to tackle him, didn't he? He was just waiting there, luring Jaith into the tackle, wanting to bench press him off.
Oh, that's a bit stiff, I reckon, that one.
Yeah, the right arm just going up a little bit high and taking Voss. Here he is, deep in the right forward pocket. Paddy Voss punches the air into light. They've got the fast start, Freo. Voss with the goal. 4-2-26 Freo, 1 straight 6 the Demons. Another right start by those in purple. 15 gone in the opening term. This is Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport. Our experts Sharrod Wellingham and Cara Antonio.
It was that nice possession from Sherry, wasn't it? Ability to get to the contest and break away with pace.
He's quick.
That was pace, wasn't it?
Very quick.
had the Melbourne defender right on his tail, but just had the confidence to tuck it under the arm, take a bounce. Those 70 to 80 metre players are just so valuable in his mindset to run through the middle of the ground, take the game on.
Dockers 39 handballs to 28 kicks as well, so replicating that first quarter against Geelong last week from the centre. Erasmus, kick was smothered for the Dockers, bounces towards Switkowski. He was taken to ground. Erasmus followed up, handball to Bolton on the edge of the 50, tackled. Ball in dispute at the top of the Dockers attacking 50. In there is Windsor for the Demons, tries to tunnel ball it out. Has Erasmus on top of him. It's bobbling around eventually. The umpire says, I'll take that, and ball it up about 48 out directly in front of the Dockers goal. Darcy wrestles with Petty, taps it into space. Murphy Reid couldn't get a handle on it. Bolton could. Handball to Clark, 55 out. Little Chisler inside 50 to the lead of Tracy, who finally found some room. We'll go back, take the set shot from 45 metres out. 45-degree angle, not a set shot. Set shot.
Just owned the outside there. The Dockers had numbers. Halfback Clark. Nice little chip. Just invited Tracy to come forward and didn't even need to break stride.
It was a little wayward last week for his standards, Josh Tracy. Normally, money. Set shot on the way. Turn and celebrate. And he did it early. One finger in the air. And 5 goals on the board for the Dockers. 5-2, 32 Fremantle. Melbourne are 1 straight 6. 17 minutes travelled in the first quarter here at Perth Stadium, and the Dockers love first quarters in 2026. Jared Wellingham, Cara Antonio.
Well, this is the fast start that we were after, wasn't it? Fremantle had to get going early, and they're definitely doing that. I love the way they're lining up, like you said, Cara, off the back of the stoppage. Their structure looks really nice. Just inviting the run and carry, isn't it?
It is, and we've been screaming for it for years. You mentioned before the new Cherry coming in to the side. That's what he brings, that excitement. And then, again, we've already seen it. Break the lines, run and carry, get the ball in nice and quick for the forwards.
And, of course, you can catch the big kahuna on Breakfast with Mark Gibson on 102.5 before Fremantle home games. Dockers win it away, but it's gone the way here of Chandler. Picked it up and kicked inside forward 50. Mychek dropped the mark on his chest. Wagner immediately tackled him. He's wrapped up. 53 out from Melbourne's attacking goal, heading to the left of our broadcast position.
This is what's so good about Murphy Reid. You can see he's a forward, but has the licence to go up to the stoppage.
Gawn got the fingertip touch. Sarong over Rennett. Gathering at Erasmus. Goes back by hand. Here's Wagner. Chance to go forward through Brayshaw. Burst through. Wagner will kick towards right half forward. Trying to take a mark there was Turner at the back. Spilled down to Voss, but there's a free kick being paid. It'll come all the way back again to be taken here by Amos. He's got it at right half forward. And then he's been marched 50 as well. So he'll be brought right to within the sort of distance where he could throw it over.
Tolstrop took Sarong down behind play.
Yeah, is that what the 50 was for? Because they're also going after
Lindsay.
Lindsay, is it?
5, yeah.
Yeah.
And Tolstrop and Voss now getting into it.
So that continues as Voss pushes Tolstrop in the chest. Meantime, we'll go back to have a look where Amos is. He's been brought to within, let's say, 25 from goal. He'll put boot to ball. 45-degree angle to the right. That's a disappointing kick. Jai Amos really needed to convert for his own confidence. Puts it to the left, and just it was an unerring kick, but always going left. 5-3-33 to 1 straight 6. Dockers over the Demons. Nearly 19 and a bit gone in the opening term.
Demons brought it in quickly, but couldn't make much of it. Go back to Salem by foot. Clearing, kick up the wing. Big fly from Langford. Couldn't mark. Neither could Turner coming in from the side. Taken to ground by Murphy Reid, and there'll be a ball up just forward of the wing on the broadcast side of Perth Stadium. Darcy in front of Gawn. Tapped it down to Erasmus. Handball to Johnson. Wheels around the left. High ball inside 50 for Fremantle. Amos got rid of Lever, couldn't take the mark. Jackson roved it. Handball over the top to Amos. Now to Dudley. Right forward pocket. Kicks into the corridor. Tracy slips. Allows Chandler to take the mark. He had the mismatch, Josh Tracy. lost his footing. Chandler marks and will go and kick out towards the wing for Melbourne. Big pack flies. Ryan punches it over the top of the Dockers.
Fremantle will get it through Brayshaw. Gives the big don't argue. Hands it back to O'Driscoll. Hand passes across half forward. It comes to Bolton. Runs to 51 out. He heads for goal. He kicks the sixth for the Dockers in the opening term. And they've all gone to different goal kickers. Shea Bolton makes it 6-3-39 to Melbourne's one straight six. It has been pretty much all Freo. We've gone 21 and a bit minutes in the first quarter.
That's their third goal from outside 50 as well.
I was just thinking that. I was sitting here going, they've got the whole half of the forward 50 free. Tracy's just, screaming for it to go out there, but they've knocked him over from outside 50.
As we welcome listeners joining us from Victoria, South Australia, Tasmania, the Territory, and of course also on Sport Digital and the AFL stream. And it's been pretty much one-way traffic here at Perth Stadium. The Dockers lead by 33 points over the Demons, 6-3 to 1 straight. The Demons have got themselves a free kick in the middle of the ground. They'll go long towards full forward. Demons through Van Rooyen, trying to look into a very awkward setting, son. Ball sent beyond defensive 50 by the Dockers. They're able to move it down the wing. Erasmus got boots of ball. Over at O'Driscoll. Pressure came from Cozzy Pickett. Melbourne are able to end up with it through Salem. He'll go short to Steele. Ugly kick, though. Erasmus brings it down at right half back.
And he's set upon by a couple of Demons. Once he gathered it, Latrell Pickett and Harvey Langford got him, taken to ground. Ball up just below our commentary position in between wing and half forward for the Demons. Gawn to the front. Tapped it straight down to Bolton, though. Good handball inside to Wagner. Then to Brayshaw. Back to Wagner. The Dockers go by hand through the middle to Johnson in the centre circle. Has a loose man over the top in Sherry. The crowd roars for the debutant. He kicks towards goal. He misses to the right. All the Dockers fans got excited, but it is a blemish. 6-4-40 for Fremantle. Melbourne, one straight six. 23 minutes played in the first term here at Perth Stadium. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Clint Wilden with you alongside. That was Mitch Turner. Sharrod Willingham, Collingwood Premiership player and former Fremantle Dockers captain and All-Australian Cara Antonio. As Gawn had it at left half back for the Demons. Heads down the commentary wing. Sherry couldn't get to it. Bursting onto it, Cozzy Pickett. Gathers for the Demons. Beautifully weighted kick into the left forward pocket. Fritsch marks. Will play on quickly though. Centering ball was perfect. Waiting for it, Rivers, right in front of the big sticks. He'll put boots of ball from 40 out.
I think it was McVie there. Had the match up on Pickett and he got out the back and you never...
You don't want to
get a bit nervous, don't you, when Pickett's out the back, but really good. I think it was that fit. Centered that ball. Nice little block as well. Disguise in the centre. They really need to hit the scoreboard here, Melbourne, because Fremantle have had all the momentum.
Absolutely have. They kicked the past 5 goals. Rivers' kick is on its way. It's hit the right-hand goalpost. The minus score for the Demons. 1-1-7, trailing Fremantle 6-4-40. So a 33-point lead to the Dockers. They've kicked 6 goals, all through individual goal kickers, Fremantle. Brayshaw, Bolton, Reid, Voss, Tracy and Johnson. While Langdon's got the only goal so far for the Demons.
Warner straight up the middle from the kick out to the Dockers. Strong mark by Tracy. Takes him in the middle of the ground. Handball to Brayshaw. Disposal number 12 coming up. Handballs to the run of Wagner. From the centre square, kicks long inside 50, Amos position 1A, brilliantly done by Daniel Turner, and then rushed through by Howes, colliding with O'Driscoll. Rush behind the Dockers, 6-5-41, Melbourne 1-1-7, Brayshaw up to 12 touches, had 14 for the entire game last week.
Being clean-shaven suits him. He's got rid of the beard. It's working for him. The Dockers have got themselves a free kick. Brayshaw again has it hard up against the boundary, just forward of the southern wing. Runs inboard. Fluoro yellow boots will kick into the left forward pocket. Gawn, too big over the top of both Dudley and Lindsay. It's certainly a mismatch in terms of height. Kicks back towards full-back. Turner assesses the options. He'll go back towards the right back pocket. Freeman's been allowed to just work it around at the moment. Opportunity here for Howes. He'll get told eventually to move it on. He'll kick beyond right half-back. Big fly, Van Rooyen. Couldn't mark it. Spilled down to Sherry, the debutant. Worked it on to Oscar McDonald. Hand pass straight back into traffic. That's been hand passed over the boundary line. And this should be a free kick and is. Last touch out of bounds. Last disposal out of bounds. Goes the way of the Dockers. Oscar McDonald takes it. Sends it back inside forward 50. Jath went up. Couldn't mark. Hits the deck. Sherry got a hand pass away. Switkowski moved it on to Jackson. Had a shot at goal. Bounces across the face. Misses. Minor score to the right-hand side. 6-6-42. Plays 1-1-7. The Dockers over the Demons. 26 gone in the first.
Goal to bring the ball back into play. Lindsay will take it, run his measure out of the square, kick long to the southern wing. Gawn in front, couldn't mark. Johnson there for the Dockers at ground level. Had a paddock, runs to 50, kicks for goal number 2 and misses. Wasting opportunities, Fremantle. 6 goals, 7. 6-7, 43. 27 minutes gone in the first term.
Jai Amos had the entire kind of forward 30 to himself as well. That would have been a certain goal if he just lowered his eyes, hit up the target.
Well,
he just missed from 20 metres out.
Yeah.
We don't mean to be nasty to anybody. He missed a sitter that long ago. And since that time, the Dockers have sort of had their radar go awry. Here's O'Driscoll with it at right half forward. Back to Brayshaw, who's been terrific. Now to Clark. Kicks towards full forward. Out! Tracy! Got a bit of separation, raise the arms way up above their heads and takes a big grab for Fremantle. He'll go back and have a shot from no more than 45. He'll start in line with the right hand behind post.
That's a great sight, isn't it? The big kahuna coming out and taking a pack mark. Freo fans be loving that. Such a strong presence, isn't he?
Second mark inside 50 today. Already with 1 goal to his name. Josh Tracy, twice their leading goal kicker, comes in and gets his seconds. Fremantle heading towards quarter time in complete control on the scoreboard. 7-7-49 to Melbourne 1-1-7. They're up by 42 points. 28 and a bit minutes gone in the opening quarter. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner with you in commentary on ABC Sports coverage of Saturday Arvo footy. Our experts, Sharad Wellingham and Cara Antonio.
A couple of 7-point plays to Fremantle this quarter as well. Melbourne really struggling to get it out from their kickouts, and just the Fremantle forwards being able to isolate themselves 1v1 ahead of the footy really quickly. Melbourne struggling to bring the ball to ground, and obviously it helps when the big kahuna can grab them from anywhere.
Akash Fotoda's downstairs. Akash.
No surprise, as soon as Caleb Sarong came back on the ground, so did Colton Tolstrup, and Pat Voss was straight into Tolstrup as well.
Tolstrup had the win because he got the clearing handball to steal for the Demons. Tumbled one towards half forward. No Melbourne player could gather it. Only Clark for the Dockers. He gave it to Erasmus. His kick smothered by Gawn. Had to go get it back. Handball to Johnson. Now McVie, the former Demon, steps around Latrell Pickett and goes back towards left half back where McDonald takes the mark. Oscar McDonald, his brother Tom, in the squad but not playing for the Demons. Goes out wide, finds Erasmus who's getting involved in this first quarter. 9th disposal coming up for him. Runs around, kicks towards half-forward. Tracy sets himself from the back. Petty got in front of him. It falls to Bolton though. Off to Murphy Reid. Clever kick inside 50. Dudley found space and found the ball. And he'll go back, set shot directly in front. Will kick from just inside 50. And he kicked one from about this range last week against Geelong. This will be 8 goals for Fremantle to go with their 8-goal first quarter last week.
Just work rate, getting to the fall of the ball. Feet of the tools, and again owning the outside to get first use.
Isaiah Dudley strolls in. Kick is pulled away to the left. He was going for distance, got a little too close to the man on the mark, and kicks it out on the full. So the Demons will have possession again in the right back pocket, and it will be Harrison Petty with ball in hand who will get us back underway as he kicks long Beyond half back, big pack flies, big leap from behind from Van Rooyen. Took everyone with him, just not the ball as it's off hands and out of bounds. 42-point margin. The way of the Dockers. What a quarter this has been. 31-minute mark approaching us. Mitch Turner, Sharad Wellingham, Cara Antonio, Cash Fodadar and Clint Wilden.
Throwing in again. Gorn got to it ahead of Jackson. Saw it straight back towards the boundary line past the outstretched hands of Steele. Throw in again. Artificial light still to really take hold. All the lights on the roof here at Perth Stadium glowing brightly at the moment. Jackson gets there, wins it against Gorn. Throws it on the boot, left half forward, goes in the direction of Voss, bounced in front of him awkwardly, couldn't pick it up. Bolton could, tackled by Steele. Got a hand pass to Lindsay, Bolton stole it away. Throws it on the boot from deep in the left forward pocket, kicks towards full forward, punched away here by the Demons, spilled down to Fritsch. Opportunity to clear. They go beyond defensive 50. It's not what they'd have been hoping for at all. Ryan with the intercept mark. He gets in there and he might have been infringed afterwards. Kick coming out of defence from Langford. There's a player who turned it over. Ryan will send it back towards full forward for Fremantle. Gorn juggled mark. Great grab from the captain. He's able to move it short in the direction of Rivers. Went over his head. He couldn't gather. Steele has it in his hands. As the siren sounds for quarter time. And then Pat Voss goes across just to give a little head rub to Harrison Petty. And then a shove in the chest of Max Gorn. Tracy goes in just to try to calm things down. But Voss has got plenty to say. And the Dockers have had plenty to say on the scoreboard too. They lead by 42 points. A lightning start. Apologies if you're listening in Sydney, to Fremantle. 7-7-49 to 1-1-7 the Demons. And the goal kickers look like this. 2 to Josh Tracy. All the others individual. Brayshaw, Bolton, Reid, Voss and Johnson. While for Melbourne, their one goal kicker, Ed Langdon. It was a beauty too from deep in the right forward pocket at the Farmer Freeway end of the ground. Other than that, it's been all those in purple. They lead 7-7-49 to Melbourne's 1-1-7. Earlier today, a win to the Suns and a big one against the Tigers by 68 points, while the Saints hung on to beat the Giants by 4 at Homebush. Wherever you're listening, on ABC Radio, Sport Digital and on ABC Listen, look for the AFL button or the AFL Extra button. This is Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
I feel like I've said too much.
Totally expected.
I am sorry about that.
Catch the best local and overseas talent at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival Gala.
Bye.
Wednesday, March 25 on ABC TV and ABC iView.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
There's a huge roar around Perth Stadium. The Dockers are back at home. Bolton marks on his chest, 51 from goal. Thought about playing on. Reid was running on his right. He had options on his left too. Now hands it off to Brayshaw. Andy Brayshaw goes long from 50 and kicks the Dockers first of the game. Cully's onto it immediately. Kicked around the body to Mychek, who marks inside forward 50. 49 from goal, and he's spotted options in the right forward pocket. The kick goes the way of Langdon, who marks. Close to the boundary, right forward pocket. Kick is on its way. It's a thing of beauty. Straight through the middle. Threads the needle.
Now Salem comes in off support. Sherry in his first game got it to Johnson. His handball missed. Ball bobbling around inside the Dockers 50. It's working its way towards goal. Great pick up by Johnson. Handball to Murphy Reid. And there's Murphy Reid's first goal in front of the home fans this season.
Towards Amos, couldn't mark. Was able to tap it back to Voss. Met by Jack. Breaks free of the tackle. No. He's been taken high. He'll get the free kick. Here he is, deep in the right forward pocket. Paddy Voss punches the air into lights. O'Driscoll. Hand pass across half forward. It comes to Bolton. Runs the 51 out. He heads for goal. He kicks the sixth for the Dockers in the opening term.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Score of 7-7-49 over Melbourne 1-1-7 is their fifth biggest quarter-time lead in their history. 42 points. It's also their 9th biggest quarter-time score in their history. What a start for them. 7-7-49 to 1-1-7, the Demons. What can Melbourne do from here? Let's find out from our experts. Sharad Willingham, Collingwood Premiership player. Cara Antonio, former AFLW captain of Fremantle and All-Australian. What do we think?
Oh, Melbourne have just got to start getting their hands on the ball at the clearance. They're getting absolutely dominated there, and Fremantle lining up really well off the back of stoppage, employing like I said, those halfbacks are up nice and high, and it's creating that run. I'll kind of be hoping that Fremantle do what they did last week and start being a little bit cautious, because if they continue like this, they could be staring down the barrel of a pretty significant loss. But it's built off pressure. They got 5 goals, 2. So we've got 5-2 from turnover, so that's built off pressure.
Yeah.
But then they're also smoking them in the clearance, 13-6. So Melbourne have really got to start getting active at the stoppage. They've got a great ruckman in Max Gawn. Start being a little bit creative and trying to hurt Fremantle the other way, because if they're able to get past that high layer of Fremantle defence, I think that they're a chance of hurting them. We saw them kind of floating down and getting those unmarked goals. I think that's because Freo are bringing their halfbacks up really high. If Melbourne can penetrate that first line of defence from Freo, then they'll be a good chance of scoring out the back.
It's hard, isn't it? When you stop one Fremantle midfielder in Sarong, the other 2 get to work. So Brayshaw, 14 touches and a goal. Bolton, 12 touches, 4 clearances and a goal. And that's, I think, where it's been won and lost at the moment at the source. And you're right. I think we want Melbourne to play like Fremantle, exciting like we saw last week, and they just need to take the game on, because if you get Cozzy Pickett out the back, you get the likes of Fritsch out the back, they're quick enough to score on turnover. But at the moment, the pressure and the intensity from Fremantle is just outweighing Melbourne at the moment. And
it was a time and forward half game. Fremantle did a great job at the stoppage, got it inside their forward half, and didn't allow Melbourne, when they got their hands back on the footy, to exit. So it was long down the line kicks to one-on-ones or a contest where they weren't able to expose and create any run.
So for the stats, team-wise first, Fremantle 127 disposals to just 73 to Melbourne, and more of those handballs for the Dockers. Their ratio well in that favour. Contested possessions, Fremantle smashing the Demons 51-29. Clearances 13-6 the way of the home side. The tackle count, Melbourne lead that 14-13. The inside 50 count 25-7 the way of the Dockers. The hit-outs, Melbourne lead that narrowly, 8-7 individually. Andrew Brayshaw, 14 disposals and a goal. Interestingly, has had 12 uncontested possessions, 1 contested possession, and 1 they don't know. Shea Bolton with 12 and a goal. Jordan Clark with 11 for the Demons. Christian Salem, he's had 10. And the next best is Ed Langdon, the former Docker, with 6 to go. With his goal, it is the Dockers 7-7-49 to the Demons 1-1-7 at quarter time.
Justin Longmuir has held his team back and has still got a few things to say to them, as Melbourne are almost in their positions ready to start this second term.
I just saw, I'm not a lip reader, but it looked like he said the whole game.
Which I think, if you were the Fremantle coach, would be a fair thing to be asking of your team after last week.
Well, they really are late to their positions, aren't they?
Yeah, I wasn't exaggerating. Melbourne are ready to go. They are all in their position.
We're in junior footy this week, like, ball it up, ball it up.
I've actually played in a game that it's happened.
Oh, there you go.
No joke. We all the way down and kicked the goal for it.
What did the other team say?
Oh, they were just running from the change room. I think it was after half time. I remember it vividly.
With oranges hanging out of their mouth.
Yeah.
Snakes.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Tholstrup's still going to Sarong as well. Hard tag.
Stands alongside him. He's got plenty of advice to offer him as well. Now, centre umpire Nathan Williamson has just come across to just share a few words of his own to the pair of them.
Just 4 disposals for Sarong in the first quarter.
Tolstrup just leans in, leans into his opponent's ear.
He's very cheeky, very cheeky.
His old man won the $10,000 raffle at a club at cricket club in Kalgoorlie a few days ago, so I reckon they're pretty happy that Tolstrup's. He did. Great Boulder Cricket Club.
Good on him. A few more shades going the way of the Tolstrup family then. We're underway in this second term. It spills out for Brayshaw. He hacks a kick off the ground. No one in particular. It spills out in the direction of Cozzy Pickett. He's been wrapped up. They'll ball it up outer edge of the centre square. Gawn gets there first. Jackson with the more telling tap, down to Brayshaw, broke the tackle. Windsor tried his best, came out towards Wagner for Fremantle, on to Voss, 75 from goal at right half forward, goes in the direction of Tracy, worked under the football, spilled out there to Rivers, had it for the Demons to Chandler, kicks beyond defensive 50, that is a good kick to Van Rooyen. He was running at full pace, Amos right on him, and he takes the mark at right half back.
Kicks long and high up the wing on the logo. Cully in front. Couldn't mark. Almost reeled in with one hand. It fell to Sarong for the Dockers. Eventually by hand through Bolton. Goes back to Brayshaw. Another disposal. This one goes back to Van Rooyen. Takes the mark about 10 metres further afield than he was before. And Josh Tracy came in from the side. Murphy Reid didn't stand the mark and took off. And it's a 50-metre penalty going to Jacob Van Rooyen. It won't take him inside 50. He will still be on the attacking edge, the man of the mark of the centre square. Almost every player in front of him goes short. Tolstrup marks under pressure. Holds on to it. 55 metres out from goal. Bolton stands very still on the mark now. Van Rooyen lurking next to Tolstrup, and he wanted to have a set shot. He had his back turned. The umpire told him, no, you have to play on. Long kick from Tolstrup inside the forward 50. Jackson couldn't mark. It spills down left forward pocket. Sharps over it. Wagner has him. Interesting. Tolstrup was trying to tell the umpire, I want my 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Which, if that was Jeremy Cameron, he'd get it. Interesting call. It was called to play on, and now the ball's tumbling inside 50 from the restart as Pearce tackles Myercheck out of bounds. I'm not sure if your player's within 55, 60 metres and wants to have a shot. I don't think the umpire can tell him he's not allowed to. It's, interesting. Ball in, left forward pocket for the Demons.
Boundary umpire unfurls, gone against Jackson. Jackson got the telling tap down, came to Warner, hand pass into traffic. It's met there. Wrapped up with Sarong. No surprises who was next to him. Tolstrup thrown up again. Gone with the more telling tap, but down to Bolton. Big don't argue. Broke away. Back to Ryan. Hard up against the boundary. Kicks beyond defensive 50. Salem brings the ball to ground. It's been locked in again. Left half forward for the Demons. Underneath it was Sharp. He'll throw it back to the umpire to restart. Rucks arrived. Jackson got up, got hands to it, then was tackled. Hand pass was to no one in particular. It's locked in again here. Underneath it was Windsor. Ball up once more, same spot. Right half forward, or left half forward rather, for the Demons as they try to take it away, and taken down the ground was Sharp. Good tackle coming from Clark. No Pryor, another ball up. 15 minutes gone in the first half of the Asian Cup final. It remains 0-0 between Japan and the Matildas. And the restart, it's smacked down defensively for the Demons. Came again towards Windsor. Oh, big fly from Pickett. Went up before acceptances, couldn't bring down the footy. Ball in the meantime has been sent over the boundary line. It's going to be last disposal out of bounds against Melbourne. Fremantle will have it through Chapman. That was an enormous fly.
He got a bump while he was in the air too.
He got his feet to it, didn't he?
Well, he got his knee to it as Warner came the other way.
Kick goes down the wing. Voss did the bodywork, couldn't take the mark. Sarong was worked to ground by his opposite number 3 and Salem for the Demons. He picks it up, kicks it up the wing, and Steele takes the mark opposed to Bolton. Too strong, the former St Kilda captain. Goes up towards half forward. Fritsch going back, pulled out of the contest. Dropped the mark he should have taken, and Pearce for the Dockers. Tackled over the boundary line by Windsor. It's a ball in as Japan have scored in the Women's Asian Cup final in Sydney. 1-0 in the 18th minute. The Matildas behind. We'll keep you updated with those scores across the evening. Ball tossed back in, just forward of the wing for the Demons. Ball off hands. Gawn picked it up, kicked it inside the 450. Pearce for the Dockers. Captain to captain, he took off. Ran into trouble. Had to retreat by hand to Clark. Gave it to Wagner. Now to Murphy Reid. Tips on the boundary line. Kicks it up the wing. Had to be perfect, and he wasn't. It's out of bounds on the full. And Lever will take the free kick for Melbourne. Just beyond left half back. He'll wheel inboard. Kicks long from where it came. Big fist from Pearce at the back. Spills over to Sharp. Gathers for the Demons. Runs to 60. Kicks towards the vacant goal square. How will it bounce? It bounces true. The Demons finally answer back. They get the first goal of this second term. They get their second on the board, and it ends a run of 6 straight for the Dockers. And it's Harry Sharp, the former Lion, who gets on the board. 2-1-13 Melbourne, 7-7-49 Fremantle, 5.5 played at Perth Stadium. Sharad Wellingham and Cara Antonio, our experts.
His first kick and first touch of the game. Had no touches, Harry Sharp, in that first quarter, so good to hit the scoreboard, but really nice front and centre, wasn't it, Chaz?
Wasn't it?
Great timing, read it really well, really nice finish. The D's needed that one.
Certainly did. Crowd hushed for a moment. Their first goal, Melbourne, since the 9-minute mark of the opening term. Umpire has spotted a ruck infringement. Crossing the line was Jackson. Gawn will hand it off immediately to Windsor. Kicks the Demons inside forward 50. No mark taken here. Steele gathering it quickly. Threw it on the boot. He's missed the lot. Smashed into on the full, the left hand behind post. Free kick here for the Dockers at right full back. And the late change, Ryan coming in for the injured Walker. Soreness, the official reason from Freo. One of the two changes. Young, the other one, out with a hamstring injury. And Sherry making his debut, the 19-year-old. Fremantle move it to Wagner. Kicks beyond defensive 50, but turns it over. Salem takes the defensive mark just forward of the southern wing.
And a look inboard. The premiership player had nothing on. Looked again. Eventually called to play on. Murphy Reid presses him. Salem kicks inside the forward 50. Pearce in front. Couldn't mark for the Dockers. Fell to Van Rooyen. Handball to Myercheck, tackled, holding the ball. Luke Ryan got him. The Dockers veteran. Fans happy to see him back out there. He saves a chance to score for the Demons. Goes by foot. Now back to Clark. His own defensive goal square. Thought about coming out the broadcast side. Instead, goes to the right back pocket where Carl Warner marks. The purple boots with the purple jumper does Warner. Kicks it up the southern wing. Gawn position 1A. Takes the mark, and they've got it locked in their front half at the moment, the Demons. Running around the back is Howes. Received the handball, then kicked it straight into the back of Jackson. Knocked it to his own advantage. Howes had to go back and get it. Did well. Recovered, now picks it up, kicks inside the 50, Pickett flew, it was Cozzy, couldn't take it, comes to Chandler, kick inside 50 off Van Rooyen, dropped a sitter, now he's tackled by O'Driscoll, handball to Sharp, to make it a double, kicks towards the goal line, spoiled, on the line is Langford, and the ball stays in, so Fremantle, they'll rebound, Clark sends it high towards the wing, off hands, stays in play, didn't go out of bounds, yes it did, it did. They'll toss it in off the spoil. Fremantle fans cheer. They got out of jail. A cash Fodadar downstairs before the boundary throw in.
Bit of concern for Melbourne. Daniel Turner has gone down into the rooms with the doctor. It seems to be a right arm concern, his wrist or elbow.
The restart. Demons will take it away. Steele kicks inside forward 50. Spoil came from Luke Ryan. Hits the deck. Chandler over the top of it. Wrapped up by Warner. Good bit of play before by McVee. Made sure that wouldn't be a goal when it looked like it was going to be for all money for Langford. Here's Jackson winning it down for the Dockers to Bolton. Hands it back to Ryan. Threw it on the boot. Not what he wanted at all. Curled around into the path of Steele. And he marks in line with the right hand behind post. About 49 out from goal.
They've done well, Melbourne, this first bit of this second quarter. 7-1 inside forward 50s, so they're keeping it in their forward half of the ground. They just need a little bit bang for buck on the scoreboard.
Yeah, really restricting Fremantle's transition. They're turning it over a fair bit and managing to get their hands back on it, but can't exit their D50.
Already has a goal as a Demon. Would like to get a second for his career and a third for the Demons today. That's missing left. It's off hands. Big pack up on the behind line and through for a minor score. 2-2-14 the Demons. The Dockers are 7-7-49. Fremantle lead by 35 points. That's a nervous margin. 10 gone in the second term.
Clark will be trusted with the kick-out duties again for the Dockers. Goes long to the broadcast side. Jaff in front, able to take it unimpeded in the end. Wanted a 50-metre penalty, didn't get it. Kicks across his own attacking 50. Windsor marks it. 60 out, goes left, wasn't a great kick towards Chandler, had time though to gather, kicks into the pocket, Pearce in front, Myercheck over the top, couldn't mark, did well at ground level though, the former Pie, somehow got it to Pickett, to Langford, bounces off one tackle, missed steal the handball, he goes back and gets it though, over to Windsor, tackled, dispossessed, holding the ball, the Dockers are off, Dudley takes the advantage, handball to Voss, he wanted to take on too many, he was pinned, now the Demons take advantage, Salem inside 50, kick to Van Rooyen, can't mark, the Dockers through Pearce, look to rebound, his handball's turned over, it's chaos footy, it comes to Van Rooyen, in the pocket, kicks to Myercheck, couple of metres out, just outside the attacking goal square, and he'll go back from 10 metres out, around the body, and have a chance to kick his first of the day. Take a breath and take 6 points, Melbourne. Myercheck gets his first goal. The Demons 3-2-20. Trail the Dockers 7-7-49, 11 played in the second term. It's all Melbourne though in this quarter. Sharon Wellingham, Cara Antonio.
Well, I said at quarter time that if they wanted to get themselves in the game, they'd have to start winning it at the source, which is the clearances, and they've managed to get it in at the clearance and lock it in their forward half. Inside 50s this quarter, 9-1. Yeah, so it has been a stark contrast to that first quarter, and finally got some reward. As he said, they were getting it in there but weren't able to convert. So needed that goal, get a bit of confidence, and go back to the middle and start again.
Brady Myercheck heads to the bench. His fourth goal as a Demon, kicked 3 last week against the Saints, who, by the way, hung on to beat the Giants earlier today by 4 points, and the Suns by 68 points over the Tigers. Back underway here. Johnson will bring it away out of the middle. Run down, great tackle. Simply superb. Sparrow got him. Plays by a hand to Salem. Kicks towards left half forward. Chandler went up. Everyone else stayed down. A couple crashed to the deck for the Dockers. Wagner able to gather. A little bit worse for wear. Out of all of that is Warner. Kicks towards right half back. And it's exactly what the Dockers needed. Amos can mark and can pause for a moment. Assess the options. He'll head down the wing. He wants Tracy. Tried to shepherd his opponents out by using the body. Couldn't do so. The Demons quickly sent it back towards left half forward. Again, Warner flew up into the air. Won it to ground. Chapman got it to Clark. He's tackled. Well done by Pickett. Pickett's kick was smothered by Warner. Bounced back to Pickett. Remarkable. Threw it on the boot again. It got touched in flight, so it won't matter for Sarong, who was on the end of it. Gave it to Dudley, then through the middle to Sherry. It opens up for Johnson. They'll come again through the centre circle, sweeping it out of Rasmus. Bounces in front of O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll attacking the edge of the centre square. Long to full forward, floating back. Jackson couldn't complete the mark. Hit a player on the way down, lost it before he hit the deck. Melbourne clear towards right half back. There was Sherry. Tried to get a hand pass away to O'Driscoll. Missed him. So it's last disposal out of bounds, and Latrell Pickett will have it at right half back for the Demons, who still trail by 29 points. 13 gone in the second.
Pickett goes inside the middle of the wing. It's off hands. Johnson gathered for the Dockers. Handballed back to Oscar McDonald, who goes further back to Ryan. The Dockers can switch. Clark has it. Amos is out on the wing if he sees him. From his own defensive 50 runs, goes shorter than that to Wagner. Just backward to the wing on the southern side. Blue boots on. Kicks the leading Tracy. Had to stop. Howes did well. Got a hand in there. Tracy at ground level. Gathered it though. Shook off the tackle. Handball to Amos. Now back to Clark. Continuing to run. Takes his measure. Kicks into the pocket. Jackson! The former Demon against his old club takes the mark. 45 metres out, hard against the boundary line. Just inside 50 in the right pocket.
Great mark. The one before obviously ran into Pat Voss, and it was that was almost a certain goal. 2v1 down in the goal square, but really nice grab. Melbourne had a lot of momentum in this first half of this second quarter, so Fremantle need to hit the scoreboard now.
Jackson is capable of the miraculous. The set shot from the tight angle. He couldn't produce it on this occasion. It's a minor score, the Dockers' first score of the quarter. 7-8-50. The Demons 3-2-20 as they bring the ball back into play. And Lindsay goes short to Salem.
It's taken them over 15 minutes to find a score. That in the shape of a behind as Salem moves it to right half back, taken there by Gawn. Walks back inside his defensive 50. Just repeating, 29 minutes gone in the Asian Cup final. As the kick goes to Salem at centre half back and he drags in the mark. Japan lead by a 1-0 over the Matildas. Down the left-hand side through Sparrow it comes, or Howes rather. Kicks towards left half forward. We'll head downstairs in just a moment. Chance for Langdon to go inside forward 50. Punch came at the back here by McVee. Sat there and then run down was Lindsay. That'll be holding the ball. That's a terrific tackle. This young man at 19 years of age, Sherry, having an immediate impact in his opening game. He went short again. Off towards Clark. Moved it towards right half back to Oscar McDonald, who'll calm things down. The Dockers by 30 points. 16.5 gone in the second.
Long down the line. Both Dockers big men there. Darcy takes the mark. Quick handball to Dudley. Kicks towards half forward. Voss had a slip. Lever didn't. Experience wins out. He takes the mark for Melbourne. Goes back inside his own defensive 50. Brody Myercheck must have put the wrong address in the GPS. He's just beyond his defensive goal square for the Demons and goes laterally out towards right half back to Latrell Pickett. Terrible kick. Straight to O'Driscoll. Couldn't take the mark. Jath was able to gather. Dances away from a couple of Dockers. Then a dangerous kick towards centre half back. Fist from Chapman. Runs onto his own ball. Handball to McVee. Runs into a brick wall. Tackled by Petty. Loses it. The ball bobbling around inside the Dockers 50. O'Driscoll gathers. Kicks on goal and pulls it away to the right. The Dockers couldn't make the most of it. Still goalless in this term. 7-9-51. The Demons 3-2-20. 17.5 minutes travelled in this second term.
We'll get you a cash, we promise. Beyond defensive 50 it goes, and there's a free kick spotted. Melbourne will have it at right half back to Myercheck. A cash voted are downstairs.
Daniel Turner's day is done. It's a right hand issue. He came back out from the rooms, but he'll take no further part in this game.
Melbourne have gone down the northern wing. It came to Cully. Right half forward, spun, kicked inside forward 50. Fritsch marks. Out on a lead. He's able to gather it 40 from goal. He will start just to the right of the right hand behind post.
Really good passage of play as well. Again, out the back. Just quick ball movement. Nice contested mark too from Bailey Fritsch. They've controlled majority of this second quarter, Melbourne. So, again, 13-5 inside forward 50s. Another couple of goals really needed going into halftime.
Here he comes, right behind the kick, Bailey Fritsch. Does it easily. That's a confident finish. Melbourne now with 4 different goal kickers. They've been able to kick the game's past 3 goals. They drag the margin back to 25 points. 7-9-51 the Dockers, 4-2-26 the Demons, 19 gone in the second term.
Yeah, like I said, they've just got to try and get past that first layer of the Fremantle defence, and if they do, they're going to have one-on-ones and forwards leading back towards goal, isolated. Great mark by Fritsch and a great finish as well. He's very reliable in front of goals, isn't he?
He is.
I reckon he'd probably feel pretty good given he kicked 6 in a grand final here. I reckon he'd like it lining up at Perth Stadium. He'd just feel like he's at home. One of many Melbourne Premiership players who won it on this deck in 2021. Out there today, Van Rooyen got the tap and was tunnelled in the process. Came out the Demons' way. They lost it though. Tolstrup goes back in. Gang tackled by a couple of Dockers. And Darcy and Brayshaw sandwich the Esperance product. Back to his feet. Straight back to Sarong. Ball tossed up in the air. Cully rucking against Darcy. Darcy took it out of the ruck. Worked it towards Switkowski. Handball back to Wagner for the Dockers. Kicks out towards right half forward. Amos takes the mark. 75 from home. Kicks it straight into the man on the mark. It bounces back to him. Gets a reload. Gets to go again. Looking for O'Driscoll inside 50. Couldn't mark. Rivers was there coming through Bolton. It was Switkowski taking the ground. They'll have a ball up 40 metres out directly in front of Fremantle's attacking goal. Darcy against Cully again, trying to tap it to his own advantage. Grabs it out of the ruck, kicks towards goal and misses left. Minor score for the Dockers, 7-10-52. The Demons 4-2-26. A cash photo downstairs.
Just keep an eye on Caleb Windsor. He looks very sore, like his right arm, right shoulder. The physio's just been out to him as well.
That's a good spot of Cash. Notice that.
He copped a knock from Sean Darcy with clearance at the stoppage prior.
Yeah, he was in real strife. Great spot from the Cash downstairs. Ball comes towards the commentary wing. Langford overran it. Comes out the side. Here's Latrell Pickett, who's kicking it out of bounds on the full. Doesn't matter as much anymore.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it does prove that it wasn't going to stay in for any of his teammates. Oscar McDonald will take the free kick. Just forward of left half back for Fremantle. 3 behinds in this term so far. 3 goals, 1. Melbourne working their way back into the contest. McDonald, who's turned it over to Petty, who marks for the Demons at right half back, goes back inside defensive 50 to Rivers. Entire Perth Stadium surface now in shade. Beyond defensive 50, it's to Lever. Got the Omni-Man mustache going again, Lever, and he kicks towards right half forward. Gone in the middle of a line of 4, brought it to ground. Langford gathers. 52 out from goal, sends it deep towards full forward. Mychek stretched for it, couldn't gather. Pearce did well. Was able to get in the way and see it across the boundary line for a throw-in at right full forward for the Demons, who still trail by 26 points. 22 gone in the second. This is Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Clint Wilden alongside this man, Mitch Turner, in commentary.
Cully in the ruck again for the Demons. Pushed out of the way by Darcy. Knocked forward by Sparrow off the deck. Comes the way of Chapman. Hard up against his defensive goal face. Chiselled a kick towards Johnson. Had to be perfect. It was pretty good. Got it towards Johnson. Gathered. Took a bounce. Kicks out towards the wing. Voss keeps it in. Takes it on the bounce. Kicks to Bolton. 2-on-1. Takes the mark. 75 out from goal. Crowd wanted 50. It wasn't coming. Looks to Switkowski. Outsized. Going back. Paid the mark is Lever. It's not the target you want to be looking for if you're the Dockers. Melbourne can again rebound. Rivers out to Gawn, just beyond left half back, who chips it over the top, and taking the mark is Petty on the southern wing.
Nicely weighted kick. Petty wheels around onto his right, kicks towards left half forward. Pearce almost got hands to it, spilled down, bursting away. Ed Langdon kicks towards goal. He's across the face, missing to the right hand side. Minor score 7-10-52 to 4-3-27. 23 and a bit gone second term. 37 minutes gone in the Asian Cup final in Sydney. Japan still leads. Sensational goal too to Amano in the 17th minutes. They lead 1-0. That call's available on ABC. Listen, look for the Asian Cup button.
Long kick from Chapman up to the wing. Darcy got rid of Gawn, took the mark. Handball to Brayshaw. Running through the middle of Perth Stadium. 1 bounce, 2 bounce. Ran into trouble. Shook the tackle of Rivers. Has Bolton out. Can gather just beyond right half forward. Has Murphy Reid streaming back towards goal. That's where he goes. Reid v Lindsay. Lindsay wins out. Punches it over the goal line. Rush behind. Another minor score for the Dockers. 7-11-53. Melbourne a 4-3-27-24 played in the second term. The Dockers, after 7 in the first, are still goalless in this term.
Melbourne. Lever. Works it back towards fullback. There's Lindsay, now Salem. It's beyond defensive 50. Petty might have got a little nudge. Umpire says play on. Cully with the red shooter's sleeve on. Hand passing forward to Langdon. Working it forward again to Tolstrup. Will kick inside forward 50. It's a thumping kick looking for Gawn. He went up. Staying down, Cozzy Pickett. Burns off Jackson. Steps inside Clark. Oh, that is miraculous. What a stunning goal that is from Cozzy Pickett. All the skills, all the pace. It's as good as you're going to see. The Demons have got their 5th. 5-3-33. They'll trail by 20 points. 7-11-53. 25 minutes gone in the second. It doesn't matter who you support. That's the sort of stuff you come to the footy for.
Just a good ball, great contest from Max Gawn, and oh God, he's good, isn't he? Gets around 2 or 3, shrugs a tackle.
I was just trying to see who was trying to stay with him as he hit that contest.
Jackson. Good luck.
Play him in the midfield more though.
Yeah.
Luke Jackson. That's the other angle, isn't it? You get exposed when you're up against the Cozzy Pickett. Tell you what, he might have seen Latrell's goal last week. He might have seen how much they hyped it up and everyone loved it during the week. You thought, I'll show you, young fella.
Get back on the highlight reel.
I'm still the king. Out of the middle, Bolton fends off one, takes a bounce, kicks inside forward, 50 for the Dockers and the debutant. Chris Sherry takes the mark. 48 metres out. Left half forward. If he wants to have a shot, he'll do it. From outside 50, the umpire's trying to get him on his line, decides not to have a shot instead. Kicks it to the top of the goal square. Tracy went down, no whistle. Play on call. Hand below the top, looking for Lindsay. Stolen by Switkowski. The Dockers answer back. They finally get one on the board in the second term. Switkowski, opportunistic. Stole it, snapped it, goaled it. And the Dockers, 8-11-59. Answer back against the Demons, who are 5-3-33. It ends a 4-goal run for Melbourne. Mitch Turner, Clint Wilden here with our experts for ABC Sports, Sharrod Wellingham and Cara Antonio.
To say they needed that is an understatement, but opportunistic goals are very valuable. They haven't been super clean. They haven't been super efficient coming out of the middle around stoppage. Tracy presented really... Actually, Switkowski nearly took the mark on that kick from Sherry, so butted up nicely, put the pressure on. What's Clark? He's got his hand in... Is it like an ice?
Something.
It's not uncomfortable, though, is it?
He goes, Latrell Pickett. Left half forward, searching kick into the left forward pocket, wanted my check. The applause is for Alex Pearce, who gets the spoil, the Dockers captain, and sees it across the boundary line for a throw-in. 35 out from Melbourne's attacking goal. They're heading to the city end, to the right of our broadcast position in this quarter. 8-11 plays 5-3. Dockers still in front. They just ended a 4-goal unanswered streak from the Demons. From the restart, down towards Langford. He has a shot at goal from 45 metres out. He misses right. Minor score. What's going on there?
Well, that's left his mic on.
I turned it off.
That's very good. That's good from you. 8-11-59 to 5-4-34. 28 gone in this second term.
How good have I got? First game of the year. Missing everything. Warner in the left back pocket, kicks it up the wing. Gawn couldn't mark. Voss gathered it off the pack. Handball to O'Driscoll, to Sherry, involved again, to Jackson. O'Driscoll just gets it over the top to Erasmus, to Jackson, to Murphy-Reid. Taken down. It bounces back to Jackson. Short kick inside 50. Tracy, free kick. Front on contact coming back by Howes. He had to make a contest, didn't have eyes for the ball. Tracy's rewarded with a free kick, and Jackson went down as the ball was going towards him. Not sure if he copped one late.
I'm not sure, I didn't see anything either. I was
looking worse for wear, Luke Jackson, as he wanders away from this pack. A couple of Dockers check his eyes, a bit of a limp going. As Tracy will go back and line up for number 3.
So almost one handball too many when Jakey Lever came out and almost turned the ball over, but nice position from Jackson and hit up Tracy.
Josh Tracy, never in doubt. He loves it, and so too do the Dockers fans. Tracy has 3 goals. The Dockers get 2 in a row. 9-11-65 Fremantle, Melbourne 5-4-34. 31-point margin, 30 minutes gone in the second term. They might have just saved themselves an almighty spray at halftime from Justin Longmuir.
No, I think he's still going to be giving them one. He was pretty animated on the screen in the box just before. Don't think he'll be too happy with the Dockers' second quarter. I still haven't seen a replay as to what happened to Jackson.
I think it was just a bump. Someone came across and bumped him and awkwardly fell across his leg, I'm pretty sure. That's what it looked like. From Stephen King's point of view, though, you'd be pretty annoyed as well. A couple of goals late in the second when you've dominated the quarter as well.
Head downstairs to a cash photo in just a minute from the restart. It came out to steal for the Demons. Got a hand pass away. They'll eventually pump it long towards right half forward through Lindsay, and it's gone over the boundary line, touched on the way through, and that is half-time. A half that saw the Demons kick the first 4 goals of the quarter after in the opening term, Fremantle kicked 7 goals to 1. Fremantle responding late with a couple of goals just to wrest back the momentum. They lead by 31 points, the Dockers, at half-time after they led by 42 at quarter-time. 9-11-65 plays 5-4-34 Fremantle over Melbourne. The goal kickers look like this. Tracy's got 3. Singles to Brayshaw, Bolton, Reid, Voss, Switkowski and Johnson. While for Melbourne, the goal kickers, all individuals. Langdon, Myercheck, Sharp, Fritsch and Cozzy Pickett kicked a beauty late that brought the margin back to 20 points. It's now back out to 31. Games earlier today, Gold Coast by 68 points over Richmond, St Kilda by 4 over GWS. We're into added time in the first half of the Asian Cup in Sydney, the Women's Asian Cup. Japan still lead thanks to that goal in the 17th minute to Maika Hamano. 1-0 into 3 minutes of added time. We'll keep you across that. Play the goal highlights very shortly. But first, let's get the thoughts of our experts here. With Fremantle leading by 31 points at the main break. Sharad Wellingham and Cara Antonio on ABC Sport.
You mentioned it to the last couple of minutes there, but that's what King's thoughts would be, wouldn't it? He'd be pretty upset that they can control the game in that second quarter and let Fremantle finish with it was 2 goals in the last 5 minutes, wasn't it? Time in forward half for Melbourne, they'll be really happy. They managed to control the game, control the dominance, I guess, from Fremantle's stoppage point of view in that first quarter. They took that away. Still haven't really seen anything too exciting in terms of ball movement. They've had a couple of nice crumbs and flushed them, but in terms of actual ball movement, game style, haven't really seen anything where you can put a name to it as to the way they want to do things. So second half for Melbourne, they've really got to continue to take away that stoppage dominance that Freo had. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that JL will be in there giving the Freo team a little bit of a rev up after what was a really good start to let the momentum go back towards Melbourne.
Oh, definitely. And you mentioned it there, Shaz, time in forward half. I mean, Melbourne +7 inside forward 50s. They were +10 at one point, and I think that last kind of 5 or 6 minutes, Fremantle got on top and were able to lock it in their forward half of the ground. They controlled field position. Fremantle couldn't get it out of their D50, and they were able to obviously get repeat entries and then give their forwards enough opportunity to score. And again, 4 goals, 3, probably should have had a couple of more, Melbourne, with their dominance early in that quarter.
There was no real style to it. There was no method to it, was there?
No.
It was in out. They did a good job of locking it in there, but then they didn't capitalise it by using a method to clear out space for a forward to work into, clear out some space and allow Myercheck or Van Rooyen to work back into it. So they were just dumping it in, and Freo with Pearce and Ryan were able to turn it over.
100%. And that quarter, Melbourne 2 goals, 2 from turnover. So again, that forward pressure and even locking it into their forward half, were able to turn it over and hit the scoreboard from there. But they actually got 2 goals from kick-ins. So that is more what we want to see. We want to see back half ball movement that's exciting and able to hit the scoreboard, get it out the back. And I think one of those was Cozzy Pickett as well. The big ball in, Max Gawn crashed a pack, and then there was numbers at the feet. You're right, though. There's no. That's that thing to rely on luck, or not luck. I mean, you're going to give yourself the best chance by getting numbers to the front of the contest. Yep.
But it's not going to work every time. The ball bounces in weird ways. So yes, it's a way to get to goal, but I don't think that's the way they want to be moving the ball, is it?
Yeah. And there was a couple that Van Rooyen presented up really nicely and dropped a beautiful chest mark that he would have had a nice set shot on goal. So, again, new game plan, new game style, new coach. I'm sure there's a forward method that they're working towards. We can't see it yet.
Yeah. And it may be that he's not trying to overcomplicate things yet, and he's happy for Melbourne to take a long down the line contest or kick it to a contest and then just get numbers there, which is a really, preliminary way of coaching a side, I suppose, and hoping that they just don't get scored against.
100%. And I think against this Fremantle backline, especially with obviously Luke Ryan coming in, it's almost like a bit more chaos ball works for them. Again, long ball in and giving opportunity for your Pierce. Pierce has been outstanding, I thought, in the first half. Your Luke Ryans to come across and spoil a few grubber balls in, ground balls, gets your Pickett's involved, and able, I suppose, to play a bit more chaotic and unpredictable to your opposition. So on the flip side, you're right. I think JR will be given a grand old spray to the Dockers. They just couldn't get their hands on the footy. They lost all shape around contest, which they had in that first quarter, and really struggled to generate any kind of a power from their back half of the ground, which they were so dominant in that first quarter and were able to score from in their defensive mid and D50. So, yeah, a tale of kind of true halves to that quarter for mine. Melbourne dominated the first half or first 3 quarters of that second quarter, and then Fremantle were able to obviously capitalise on a few goals late.
Toolthorpe doing a good job on Strong. He's had the 6 touches. Murphy Reed's another one in that quarter, only had the 1 disposal for the game. They need to get him involved, get him up around. That's what I mean by Melbourne taking away the stoppage prowess that Freo showed in that first quarter.
Thoughts of Cara Antonio and Sharad Willingham with you on ABC Sport. Repeating that halftime score, the Dockers 9-11-65 to Melbourne 5-4-34. It's also half-time in the Asian Cup final, the Women's Asian Cup final of 2026. Japan up against Australia. Japan leads 1-0, and this is how.
Kitagawa. Lovely ball across the top of the penalty area. Turn and strike and goal from Japan. Out of absolutely nothing. What a terrific strike that evaded Mackenzie Arnold diving away to her left. Hasegawa central to that build-up then as they moved in towards goal. She slid the ball into Maika Hamano and she pulled off a curling shot that evaded the dive of Mackenzie Arnold going away to her left. And Japan showing how dangerous they are then. It's Japan 1, Australia 0.
So, it was a cracking goal as well. If you want to continue to hear coverage of that, ABC Listen, the place to go. Ned Hall will have the second half there for you. It's the Matildas trying to fight back by trailing that goal disadvantage for them. They're down by 1-0 at half time. A couple of other scores to bring you up to date before we head to the latest from the ABC newsroom. But first up, now this is a lopsided score if I've ever seen one. Game 1 of the NBL Grand Final Series, and Sydney have absolutely thumped the Adelaide 36ers. 112-68, a 44-point win. I can only imagine what it's like in the 36ers rooms after that. That is an incredible belting. 112-68. Sydney in Sydney, the Kings, way too good after their first of the 3-game grand final series. A couple of rugby league scores to let you know about. The Warriors have beaten the Knights 38-12, the Dolphins 38-10 over the Sharks, and 53 minutes gone in the game between the Rabbitohs and the Tigers, and currently the Rabbitohs lead that by 2 points, 16-14. So just recapping the scores we've had so far on Saturday, this triple header of Saturday, round 2 of the AFL. Gold Coast by 68 points over Richmond. St Kilda by 4 points over GWS. And halftime here, the Dockers lead the Demons, and they're up 9-11-65 to 5-4-34. A 31-point lead to Fremantle. Let's pause here at Perth Stadium and take the latest from the ABC newsroom.
This is ABC News with David Rowlands. US President Donald Trump says he's considering winding down military operations in the Middle East, even as the United States is sending 3 more amphibious assault ships and roughly 2,500 additional Marines to the region. Larry Buttrose has the details.
The mixed messages from the US come after another climb in oil prices sent trade into a plunge on Wall Street. That was followed by a Trump administration announcement it was lifting sanctions on Iranian oil already loaded on ships, a move aimed at allaying soaring fuel prices. The war, now in its 4th week, shows no sign of abating, with Israel saying Iran continues to fire missiles at it and Saudi Arabia saying it downed 20 drones in just 2 hours. Meanwhile, there's speculation about possible missions for the Marines in Iran, including seeking out any stores of enriched uranium and occupying the strategic energy facility Haag Island.
Meanwhile, a massive fire has erupted at the US diplomatic facility in the Iraqi capital Baghdad, following what's believed to be an Iranian drone strike. At least 3 attacks were reported on the sprawling facility in the city's fortified green zone, with the fire breaking out following the 3rd strike. Defence Minister Richard Marles says he won't give a running commentary on the latest comments from US President Donald Trump. Trump has labelled NATO allies cowards for not helping to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and says he was surprised that Australia said no to US requests to get involved in the war. Australia has committed a wedge-tail surveillance plane and 85 defence personnel to the UAE in order to help defend against Iranian drone and missile strikes there. Mr Marles says Australia is contributing to the security of Gulf states.
Those men and women who are part of the contingent now serving on our E7 do so with the utmost bravery, and they are making an enormous contribution to the defence of the Gulf states.
Polls have officially closed across South Australia in the state election. Will Hunter has more.
Vote counting is now underway to find out who South Australians have chosen to lead the state for the next 4 years. This election has seen a record number of early voters and featured the most amount of candidates ever seen in the state's history. Labor leader Peter Malinauskas is tipped to be returned to office by a comfortable majority, but all eyes will be on the future of an Ashton Hearn-led Liberal Party amid a surge in popularity for One Nation. This ballot is widely considered a litmus test for the right-wing party, which is consistently polled above the Liberals in primary support, threatening its status as the official opposition.
Katherine Hospital in the Northern Territory has been evacuated as the flood-hit community prepares for another possible major flood event ahead of Tropical Cyclone Narelle. The Category 2 cyclone is currently in the Gulf of Carpentaria and forecast to make landfall on the Territory's east coast early tomorrow morning. The Bureau of Meteorology is expecting isolated rainfalls of up to 300 millimetres and more widespread falls of 100 millimetres across the top end. NT Health says that as a precaution, 20 patients of Katherine Hospital have been relocated to Darwin. Emergency crews in South Korea have recovered the remains of 10 people killed in a fire in a car parts factory. The blaze in the central city of Daejeon was likely triggered by an explosion, with nearly 60 people injured, 25 of them seriously, and 4 still missing. More than 500 firefighters, police and emergency workers were sent to contain the fire and conduct rescue operations. Videos and photos from the scene show thick grey smoke billowing from the complex and some workers jumping from a building. That brings you up to date with the latest ABC News.
You meet the most interesting people on Sunday morning.
Driving through this hot land full of dust and smoke, this little Tommy fella feels like a true blue Aussie bloke.
Join the rest of Australia right here on Sunday morning.
Australia all over, Sunday mornings on ABC Radio.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Lever will take the free kick for Melbourne. Just beyond left half back, wheel inboard. Kicks long from where it came. Big fist from Pearce at the back. Spills over to Sharp. Gathers for the Demons. Runs to 60. Kicks towards the vacant. Goal square held and bounce. It bounces true. It's chaos footy. It comes to Van Rooyen in the pocket. Kicks to Myercheck. 10 metres out. Around the body. Take a breath. And take 6 points.
Came to Cully. Right half forward. Spun. Kicked inside forward 50. Breach marks.
They've controlled the majority of this second quarter, Melbourne, so Again, 13-5 inside forward 50s. Another couple of goals really needed going into half-time.
Here he comes, right behind the kick, Bailey Fridge. Does it easily. Gone. He went up, staying down, Cozzy Pickett. Birds off Jackson, steps inside Clark. Oh, that is miraculous. What a stunning goal that is from Cozzy Pickett. All the skills, all the pace. It's as good as you're going to see. The Demons have got their fifth.
Play on call. Hand below the top, looking for Lindsay. Stolen by Sinkowski. The Dockers answer back.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Dockers got away to a blistering start. They kicked 7 goals in the opening term to 1, 6 of them unanswered as they headed into quarter time. But since that moment onwards, Melbourne have fought back and they won the second term, kicking 4 goals to the Dockers 2. Freo have missed some chances in front of goal, though. They're 9-11-65, the Dockers, to 5-4-34. And you could tell that there was a bit of nerves around this crowd because of the way Fremantle faded out last week against Geelong. Remember, they led by 35 points 25 minutes into the second term. Fremantle fans would remember that fade out, and the Dockers absolutely need to guard against that. Still half-time at the Asian Cup final, the Women's Asian Cup final 2026. Japan lead that 1-0. And if you've just joined us, recapping those other games, the Suns over the Tigers by 68 and the Saints over GWS by 4. Mitchell Turner has all the numbers in front of him. One that matters most, of course, the Dockers lead by 31 points as they return to Perth Stadium.
The contested possession count, the way of the Dockers, 87-65. Clearances, they still lead, 20-13. Tackles, Melbourne 28, the Dockers 26. Melbourne with 48 marks, the Dockers 30 at half-time. Inside 50s, Melbourne got a couple back in that quarter, 35-24 the way of the Dockers now. Hit-outs 18-13 the way of the Demons. Individually, Shea Bolton up to 19 disposals with 12 contested and a goal for the Dockers. Jordan Clark with 18 touches. Andrew Brayshaw, quite a quarter after having 14 early on in the first. He's up to 18. Erasmus 13. Johnson and Wagner 12. For Melbourne, Christian Salem with a big second term, 19 touches for him. Jack Steele, the former Saint, he's had 13. Max Gawn, 10 touches to go. There's 14 hit-outs and 6 marks in the first half. Then Ed Langdon with 9 to go with a goal. Looking down the list, Caleb Sarong, just 6 disposals. Colton Tolstrop has done the job on him. He had 4 in the first term, just second in the second, just 6 for the game. The score, though, 9-11-65 Fremantle. Melbourne are 5-4-34, a 31-point lead as we count down towards the second half.
Cash Fodadar let us know the news for the break about Daniel Turner. Cash, want to give us any update from where you're placed downstairs?
Yeah, just confirmation that Daniel Turner is out of the game. Melbourne said it's a right hand injury. He went down to the rooms with the doctors favouring that right hand. He did return to the bench and initially looked like he might be coming back on, but he went to the back of the bench where once upon a time the sub used to go, but now it's just for the injured player. So he's out of the game for Melbourne. And just one other little interesting thing at halftime I noticed, which you don't see very often, is Sam Switkowski called one of the umpires over to have a chat. Normally it's it's the captain that would speak to the umpires if there was any concerns, but he was seeking some clarity on something. It was hard to tell exactly what he was discussing. At one point it looked like he was pointing to the area of the ground where that stand 50-metre penalty was given against Josh Tracy and Murphy Reid, so perhaps asking, did Josh Tracy come in from the side, or was it the wrong area where we entered the protected zone? But he spent a good probably 2 minutes talking to the umpire before then joining his teammates to head down to the race, and it's not something you see that often these days, a player pulling an umpire over seeking clarity mid-game.
Yeah, very, very interesting. As you said that, Cash, Daniel Turner just came back out towards the bench and had that right hand wrist strapped up. Also, Luke Jackson, as you're giving that update, the trainers heavily strapping his right thigh. So had that incident in the forward 50. You said there was just a bit of a contact and could just be a cork maybe giving us really heavily strapped right thigh for Luke Jackson as he walks towards the middle of the ground, and he's just been trying to get it going. But that's one the Dockers would ideally hope he can make through the game, because he's been a big factor for them. Sean Darcy's just had the 4 disposals to go with his 4 hit-outs and hasn't been much of a factor. Jackson, on the other hand, 11 touches, 9 hit-outs and 2 behind, so hitting the scoreboard as well. Both teams now walking out into position. Jackson will start in the ruck. It'll be Gawn for Melbourne. And Caleb Sarong, Bolton and Brayshaw await Steele, Windsor, and of course, like a glove, back goes Colton Telstra, the Esperance product.
Who's doing a great job. Let's see how he can go in the second half.
It's kept Caleb Sarong to just 6 disposals. Back underway at Optus Stadium, Perth Stadium, in the second half. I'm on fire today. Melbourne win it out of the middle. Chandler taps it towards Windsor. Inside 50 to Pickett, was tackled, dispossessed by Brayshaw. High ball into the middle of the field. Gawn going back, couldn't mark under pressure from Jackson. Umpire said he dragged his arm down. Free kick to the Melbourne captain. Ignored Rivers running past. Instead goes out to right half forward in front. Unable to take the mark was Langdon. Brayshaw at ground level. Handball to McDonald. Back to Warner. A little bit of foot candy to Langdon. Then his kick out towards the wing. Rolls away out of bounds. It'll be a free kick to Melbourne for last touch.
Sour candy.
Lever. Free kick. Goes inboard for the Demons to Rivers on centre wing. Kicks now towards centre half forward. No one there but Brayshaw, who started this quarter well. Takes the uncontested intercept mark. Disposal 21 coming up. The former MVP of this league. Kicks to the wing. Bolton over the top. Couldn't mark opposed to Windsor. Windsor won it at ground level. Handballed into the path of Johnson. He was knocked off it. Back to Brayshaw. Little fend off to Jaff. Tumbles one that beats Reid and Rivers. Steele picks it up for the Demons. Handball was spilt by Rivers. Comes to Sarong from the wing. Kicks up towards Dudley. Handball to Murphy Reid. Runs to 45. Put it in the book. Murphy Reid kicks the goal. Doesn't break stride. And that's 2 for the Rising Star winner. The Dockers strike first in this third term. 10-11-71. Melbourne a 5-4-34. Margin back out to 37 points. Less than 2 minutes played in the third term. Mitch Turner, Clint Wheeldon, our experts. Collingwood Premiership player Sharad Wellingham, former Dockers captain Cara Antonio.
Yeah, Rivers would like his time again there, wouldn't he? It was a basic skill error that resulted in the turnover. Murphy streaming forward. I said he was too quiet in that second quarter. Need to get him up around the ball, get the ball in his hands, because he is so important. Big smiles on the faces of the Freo players. A little bit ugly to start that quarter there. Nothing really eventuated, and then a turnover goal.
Jackson wins the tap, but it's straight to Steele. Umpires spotted a ruck infringement. In fact, it's something against the Dockers anyway. Steele will take the free kick, and he puts it inside forward 50. That's a fine mark to McDonald. He was third in a line of 4. Dragged it in as he went to ground at full back for Fremantle. Oscar McDonald on a bit of a stroll and then kicks towards left half back. Not the greatest kick. Gawn was the tallest player in that contest, and he takes the mark. Looks to move it on short to Langdon. Hard up against the boundary line, right half forward. Not a great hand pass to Jath, who gathered and then kicked straight down the throat of Warner, marking in the left back pocket. Warner for Fremantle. Dockers kicking to the city end in this quarter. Kicks over the top of the pack. It'll bounce past the southern wing. Getting to it, Petty. Gathered it nicely. Handed it off to Langdon. Now on to Howes, to Jath. Hand pass was meant to go back to Howes. Missed him completely. Sarong was there to mop it up. Got it for the Dockers. Kick towards left half forward. Tracy. Mark's been paid. Out of his hand on the way down by the opposite 35 in Petty. But Tracy's got it. He's about 65 from goal, and he tells everybody, I'm going towards the big sticks.
He would want to kick it because Murphy Reid had all the space in the world. Should have probably hit him up.
He was jumping. He was doing jumping jacks.
He was, wasn't he?
He runs onto his right, and then from 57 out, Tracy unloads and misses. In fact, he hasn't even carried the distance. It's been marked by Gawn. at
50.
left full back, and they're going to give 50 as well.
Murphy threw his arms up straight away as well.
Infringing then was Wagner. The Demons will bring it up. They'll bring it up to just shy of what would be the centre square. They've got it on the defensive point on the left at left half back.
Quick handball to Lindsay. Kicks out of the broadcast wing. Nice mark taken by Harry Sharp. Low to the ground. Wheels inboard. Warner watches him run past. Sharp kicks inside the forward 50. Big fly in front from Cully. Couldn't mark. Pearce at ground level. Tackled by Tolstrup. Ball spills free. Steele socketed off the ground. Straight to Ryan of the Dockers. Handball in front of Brayshaw. Has Windsor in pursuit. He's fast. He caught him. Managed to get a handball away. Tracy had a terrific pickup. Handball up the wing to Dudley. Cosy Pickett's running him down. He won't get there. Dudley kicks towards goal. It bounces through. Showed a clean pair of heels to his cousin and has the last laugh. Isaiah Dudley gets his first goal of the day, and we almost had a bit of cousin-on-cousin action again. But he gets the last laugh. 11-11-77 for the Dockers, 5-4-34 for Melbourne. We saw Morris Rioli run down Daniel today in Gold Coast v Richmond, and Cozzy almost got Isaiah Dudley, but he gets the goal. Sharad Wellingham, Cara, Antonio. 5 more metres and he would have had him.
Would have mowed him down.
Absolutely would have had him. He is quick. And I love, yes, Fremantle goal, fantastic finish, but love the intent from Cozzy Pickett. That's what you know you're going to get.
Yep.
He could have given up well and truly, 40 metres prior to that, but that's why they pay him the big bucks. You know what you're going to get from him.
Always a popular category. Gordon wins it down. Taken away here by Murphy Reid. Just going to give away the free kick as he attempted to defend. Come back to Steele. Running by here. Chance for Windsor. Not the kick he wanted. O'Driscoll got in the way. Hand pass in the middle of the ground to Johnson. Now to Dudley again. Finds Tracy unmarked. Centre half forward. 55 from goal. There are options on. One's at right full forward. The lead had been made out towards the boundary by Voss. And he takes the mark. Hard up against the boundary. Right full forward for Freo.
Beautiful kick inside 50 from Tracy there. Not the best spot to be taking a deep mark for Voss. But the inside 50 kick from Tracy was exceptional.
Paddy Voss, 1 goal today. 45 for his career. Let's see how he celebrates if he kicks truly. He worked it onto the outside of the right. He couldn't get it to curl around enough. Misses, pushing it across the face. Minor score. 11-12-78 to 5-4-34. 7 gone in the third.
Melbourne bring it in quickly. Out towards Rivers and then Lever at left half back. Goes back inside 50 to Lindsay. Plays on. Dangerous kick towards right half back, but a good one to Jaff. Can mark and go. Has players on over the top on the wing. Langdon takes the mark. Has a runner by hand. Gives it off. Steele inside 50. Pushes, he kicks, and it goes out on the full. Umpire said it was legal too. Good pressure by the Dockers. And Clark will be able to take the free kick just inside left half back. As the lights are on here at Perth Stadium. Still blue skies. Clark goes up the wing. Petty punches it away from Tracy, but got him high. Free kick will come back to the Dockers spearhead. Umpire Nathan Williamson just clearing out some of the baggage. The players just hanging around the area. Now Tracy decides, instead of going forward, he'll switch it long laterally to Ryan inside his own defensive 50. Comes to the southern side to Chapman. Kick to Warner's just inside the boundary line. He takes the mark and has it just below our broadcast position. The Dockers by 44 points. 8.5 minutes played in the third term.
Chapman. Just Warner gets in the way of Chandler. Chapman can take a step inboard and kick towards right half forward. He wanted Voss. Brought it to ground. Spilled out the side. Erasmus hand passed over his shoulder. Coming towards it was Switkowski. Met the other way by Lever. Ball still in dispute. Right with the 50s painted on the turf at right half forward. Eventually it's locked in. Sherry, the debutant. Last player to throw it back to the umpire, who immediately hurls it up into the air. Gawn slaps it down. Heads towards the boundary. Lincoln's able to gather. Kick going in the direction of Cully, who's stretched. Did he get a fingertip to it? He did. It's gone across through the interchange gates for a throw-in. Akash Vodadara is downstairs.
Yeah, Sharrod was asking the second quarter what Jordan Clark had on his hand. Fremantle have told me it's an ice mitt. They keep him in the ice buckets for cooling, so Geordie Clark must have hot hands.
Well, there you go.
Boom, boom.
Vodadara. The breaking news. Free kick from the boundary throw-in. Goes against Darcy to Max Gawn. Has a player inboard. Short kick to Salem. Not 15 play on. Manages to pick it up on the half volley and kick short to Sparrow. Just forward of the wing. Kicks inside the forward 50. Cozzy the target. Couple of Dockers there. Punch it away. It falls to Windsor. Outside of the boot towards the goal face. Myercheck can't take the mark. Had Pearce for company. It's off hands, out of bounds in the left forward pocket. Hot hands for Geordie Clark.
Ice mitts.
That's a new one.
Never heard of that.
Never seen that.
Heard of hand warmers in cricket and things like that?
Mitts.
Ice mitts. Ball tossed back in. Myercheck and Darcy neither got it. It bounces through to Sparrow. Tumbling ball towards the goal face. Cully dive, couldn't get there. And it rolls through for a minus score. Melbourne 5-5-35. Fremantle 11-12-78. 10 minutes played in the third term. Clint Wheeldon.
Kicks towards Murphy Reid, who marks in the left-back pocket. Originally from Ryan, who's the late change, coming in for Walker, out with soreness. According to the Dockers, as Chapman kicks towards the outer side. Tracy couldn't mark against Petty. Sherry put his head over the football, met by Steele, coming the other way. Managed to get the ball out by hand. It tumbles along the boundary line. No last disposal. This will be a throw-in on true centre wing. Southern side of Perth Stadium, the artificial lighting now starting to take full effect. 11-12 plays 5-5. 43 points the Dockers lead. 11 into the third. From the restart, trying to take it away was Erasmus. Tackled by Cully. Ball jarred out. Still players pile on top. Just on the outer edge of the logo on the southern wing. We'll ball it up once more. If you've just joined us, Fremantle led by 42 points at quarter time. Melbourne cut that margin back to 31 points at the half. It's now back heavily in Freo's favour by 43, and the Dockers break away, taking a bounce at left half forward. Bolton goes long towards goal. That is a great kick. A telling moment for Shea Bolton as he goes to high-five anyone he can find in a purple jumper. Shea Bolton's got his second. It puts the Dockers lead back to 49 points. 12-12-84. Melbourne 5-5-35. 12 and a bit gone in this the third time. This is a game-high advantage for those in the purple.
That is the first clearance for Fremantle for the quarter, and it's resulted directly in a goal. But that is exceptional run and finish from Bolton, wasn't it?
And came out the front as well. Front of the clearance, front of the stoppage, forward handball.
He doesn't usually show much emotion, Bolton. He doesn't smile, but he was happy with that one. He had a huge smile on his face.
Sharikar would Stephen King be pretty filthy. They left Shea Bolton 15,
100%.
20 metres goal side of a stoppage.
Yep.
Would have thought he's probably the first person you look around and try to make sure you've got him covered. It wasn't the case. Restart again in the middle. Secondary ball up. Gets tapped down the way of Sparrow to Cozzy Pickett. Handball a little wide for Langford. Couldn't gather. Wagner worried him off it. Tapped it to his advantage. Then was tackled by Sparrow. Dropped the ball. Cozzy Pickett dives in. Players come crashing in and ball up on the AFL logo. On the broadcast side. 3 goals straight this quarter. 5 in a row for the match for the Dockers. Wagner lost it. Langford gone over the Demons. Handball to Chandler. Now to Steele. It's been big for Melbourne. Kicks inside the forward 50. McDonald floats across. Takes the intercept mark for Fremantle. Read at best against his former side. Now kicks out the southern side. McVee. Another former Demon takes the mark. Has players running ahead of him. Chose not to give the handball. Eventually takes a bounce. Now gives it over the top by hand. Chapman can launch the Dockers inside 50. Tracy sets himself, and Tracy marks. Good luck standing underneath him. If you're a defender, you'll go back, set shot, 35 metres out, slight angle, and a chance to kick his 4th goal.
Great mark. Came from behind, just read it so well. Great timing. He's been good tonight. That's his 6th mark. Going back for his 4th goal.
He's everything you want in a big forward, Josh Tracy. And he's here for the long term for the Fremantle Dockers. The bright boots, the bright lights, the perfect drop punts, and the double cobra to the crowd. Josh Tracy has 4 goals. The Dockers have 13. And they are starting to assert their dominance over Melbourne. 13-12-90 Fremantle. Melbourne 5-5-35. Margin out to 55 points. Mitch Turner, Clint Wilden and Cash Fodder up here in the box. Sharon Wellingham, Cara Antonio, our experts for ABC Sport.
The 3rd goal from turnover this quarter as well, Freo. So pressures.
Applying the pressure around the ball, aren't
100%.
they?
Exactly how they started the game is how they started this 3rd quarter. They've kicked 1 goal from stoppage and 3 from turnover. So great pressure at the source. They're getting on top in that area again.
An hour gone at the final of the Women's Asian Cup. Still Japan leads 1-0 over the Matildas. And the restart, they'll try to bring it away here, the Dockers. Erasmus trying to drag it away from Tolstrup. Locked in, ball up the call. Going up again, Darcy palmed it down, ricocheted back to him, couldn't gather. Tolstrup tried to slap it forward, spilled out, Langford overran it, just hacked out of trouble by Steele towards left half forward for the Demons. Trying to just tap it in his own advantage. Johnson didn't do so. Chandler gathered, kick inside forward 50. Great diving grab. Ryan had to be at full stretch. Slid along the turf as he completed the mark. And he has it hard up against the boundary in the right back pocket for the Dockers. And short with the kick to McVie, the former Demon. Back again. Ryan. He finds Oscar McDonald deep in the left back pocket. Better control from Fremantle at the moment. Kick for the Dockers long beyond defensive 50. Voss wanted it. In front was Lever. Spilled out to Wagner though. Hand pass came from Erasmus. Moved it by hand to Sherry. Oh, well done, Sherry. He is fast. Got away from his opponent. The kick was disappointing. Leaping up to mark was Steele. He wanted Bolton. Steele was just in the better position. Marks it for the Demons and then stabs it short to Sharp on the logo southern wing. Kicks Melbourne back inside forward 50. Pickett crashed into Ryan. Tried to take the mark. Went out the back. Mychek gathered, kicks and misses. Now Ryan thought he was infringed. I don't think he was, but that's what the crowd is certainly cheering for. Mychek still could have done better with the opportunity at right full forward. 5-6-36 the Demons. The Dockers 13-12-90. 17 gone in the 3rd.
Clark, long kick in, gone again. Another intercept mark for the Demons. Just forward of the wing. He's given Sean Darcy a bath tonight. The Melbourne champion wheels onto his right boot. Long kick inside the forward 50. Fist came from McDonald. Ryan tackled by Pickett at ground level. Couldn't get rid of it. Threw the boot at it. Eventually spills free. Johnson, handball over the top to Clark for the Dockers. Clearing kick towards Tracy. Bodyline the ball. Stolen out of his hands by Jaff. Kicks Melbourne back inside forward 50. Off hands. Bolton coming through. Tried to knock it to his advantage. Langdon the first one onto it. Couldn't gather. Tapped it to Cozzy. How does he gather that? Handball to Tolstrup. Snap on goal smothered. Well done the Dockers. Pearce now to Sarong. And here's the first gamer in Sherry who steps around one and takes the bounce.
And then sweeps a hand pass to the southern wing. Voss pauses for a moment and then finds a good option in Bolton. He tells everybody just to calm down. Great smother from Erasmus in defence just moments before. The Dockers towards the southern wing to McDonald. Moves it onto O'Driscoll and that kick was disappointing. Inside forward 50, barely having to move was Salem. Takes the defensive mark. Switches play to Langford. Langford's kick almost equally as poor. Brayshaw waited. Tolstrup didn't. Won the contest for the Demon. Kicks down the line. That'll be a free kick against Pearce. Infringing Fritsch. Fritsch wanted to play on and move around. He can't do that. He'll have to come back over the mark.
Well, that's just silly from Fritsch because now it's allowed Freo to get back and defend.
It does. They've all flooded back. As Fritsch will then head back himself with a kick to the logo that's marked by Howes for the Demons. The Dockers' lead remains 54 points, 19 gone in the third.
Howes goes the long switch across the defensive side of the centre square to Lever. Goes further wide. The southern wing where Jath can mark. Slow play here by the Demons. He'll go back inboard to the wing, Rivers. The Dockers set up behind the footy. Melbourne trying to be patient. Spins the ball in his hands, the West Aussie. Now kicks towards right half forward. Sharp the target. Fist came from behind. Fell down to Langdon. Stepped around one. Snap inside 50. Cozzy Pickett couldn't mark. Murphy Reid taps it towards Erasmus. Has the ball stolen. Chandler was clean. Handball to Tolstrup. To Sparrow. The Demons need this one and he gives it to them. Good finish by Sparrow. The Dockers with 6 straight. The Demons get one back. 6-6-42 Melbourne. Fremantle 13-12-90. 48-point lead the way of the Dockers. 20 minutes gone in the third. Sharad Wellingham, Cara Antonio, ABC Sport.
Wow, it's been an ugly last 5 or 6 minutes from
just chaotic,
both sides. Yeah, just a lot of high pressure fumbles. Poor decision-making, skill execution. So finally a team can hit the scoreboard with a major, but Melbourne needed that one to stay in this one. Freo have got all the momentum at the moment.
Ended a run of 6 unanswered goals by the Dockers. That goal off the boot of Sparrow. Ball back in the middle. Freo's lead 48 points. Gawn wins the hit out again. Going his 9 marks to Sarong, though. Tried to scoop it up. Couldn't find a teammate. Eventually, Warner does gather. Defensive point of the centre square at right half back. Got it on to Brayshaw. Now to O'Driscoll. Hand pass again. Warner goes to Brayshaw. Still near the logo. Back to Warner by hand. Eventually gets a kick away. Heads long in the direction of Voss. Lever behind him. Ball goes to ground. Lever recovered well. Able to shovel a hand pass there to Salem for Melbourne. Goes looking in the direction of Gawn. Thought he got knocked in the head. Sharp tried to hand pass away. Brayshaw knocked it to ground. The Demons, though, are able to respond. It came quickly along through to Windsor. Back to Salem. Hard up against the boundary. He's kicked down the line. Bounced in front of Oscar McDonald. He gathered. Gave it to Sarong. Puts the Dockers back towards right half forward. There's another mark there. Paid. He did lose it after he hit the deck, but quite rightly paid to Gawn. I think that's his 10th for the game. He'll get up and play on by hand inside his defensive 50.
Lindsay comes wide to Salem. Wagner gets across and is able to punch it out of bounds. So they still lock them in their back half. The Demons can't get out of their defensive side of the ground. Ball will be tossed in front of the Freo members. Darcy in front of Gawn, spun to the back. Gawn won the tap, got it to Langford, just sharp, tackled by Warner. Somehow got a handball out. Lindsay though, or Windsor, spilt it to Bolton. 1 bounce, 2 bounce. Sparrow closes him down, forces him to kick inside 50. Ball is spilt. O'Driscoll, handball to Brayshaw, spotted the target short in Voss and shanked the kick.
Too selfless, had to have a shot there, I think, Brayshaw.
Rolled out of bounds, and he's probably one player who has earned the right to make one mistake because he has been terrific, Andrew Brayshaw. Because it is not between the arcs, he'll be spun back in. Darcy in front of Gawn again. Taps it down into the space. Bolton came through, missed it. Rivers trying to gather or trying to find the boundary. He got his way in the end. Did not want to pick that up, Trent Rivers, and did it well. It'll be spun back in again. 25 metres around from the Dockers attacking goal. They lead the Demons by 48 points.
By the way, Brayshaw's stats, 26 disposals, 4 contested, 20 uncontested, 3 ground ball gets, 1 clearance, 2 inside 50s. From the restart, on the ruck with a telling tap, down inside Freo's forward 50. Sarong gathers off the deck, spins, shoots, goals! Caleb Sarong. Wonderful finish. A ground ball get taken at pace. And he was able to find the major opening. Fremantle's lead, 54 points. 14-12-96 the Dockers, 6-6-42 Melbourne. We've travelled 24 minutes in the third.
It was a really nice ground ball, as you said, Clint. Full pace, turned on a dime as soon as he gathered possession. But the interesting setup of that was it looked like Voss tried to come through as the go-to at the forward 50 stoppage. I don't know if that was the way it was drawn up in their midfield meetings.
Shea Bolton put a nice block on too for Sarong to get out, and a bad missed tackle from the Melbourne defender as well.
Yeah, ended up with Rivers on Sarong on that occasion and Tolstrup on Bolton, and it paid dividends to the Dockers. Murphy Reid soccers it forward out of the middle, gone into the first gamer, and Sherry, his handball, couldn't find Erasmus. Reid went back in, tackled by Pickett, turnover. The Demons through Lindsay, tumble the ball to half forward. Cully throws it to Latrell Pickett, who takes a bounce, runs to 40 and kicks it straight to Heath Chapman. Oh, his eyes lit up, Latrell Pickett, like he was going to recreate last week, and instead gave it to the Dockers. And now through Wagner in the right back pocket, they can once again exit defensive 50. He goes high, goes long. Jackson v Gawn, Master v Apprentice. Gawn wins out again. Tumbles it towards Sharp, 60 out from goal. Kicks the Demons inside the forward 50. Chapman punches it away from Van Rooyen. And Geordie Clark celebrates like he kicked a goal. Ball out of bounds, left forward pocket for the Demons. 14-12-96 the Dockers. They are 54 points ahead of the Demons.
Ball put back in. Deep in the left forward pocket for Melbourne. Van Rooyen against Jackson, neither with a telling tap. Hit the deck. Here's Reid. Manufactures a kick that'll bounce towards centre half back. Out after it was Tracy against Petty. Well done by Brayshaw. Put his body on the line. Gathered it for the Dockers. Gave it out to Erasmus. Great play, Andy Brayshaw. Erasmus's kick to the southern wing. Cherry goes past Lever. Gathers, breaks away from the tackle. Steps around Langdon as well. What a debut this young man's having. Gave it to Reid. Reid hand pass back to Erasmus. Gathered on the bounce. Then towards Tracy, who marks. Between the southern wing and left half forward. Sherry, incredible. Last senior game was in the Essendon Districts Grand Final. Now he's playing AFL. Kick inside forward 50. No mark taken. Melbourne. But a hand pass to Salem. Tackled by Jackson. Ball jarred out. Went again towards Lindsay. Then to Lever. Back to Langdon, who puts it out of bounds on the full. Free kick for the Dockers at left half forward.
Gee, Chris Sherry. What people watching on TV or listening at home couldn't. He came from like 70 metres away to get there before Lever. The exuberance of a first gamer.
Beat three of them too.
He came from so far away and the veteran Lever couldn't do much about it. Chapman sends the Dockers inside the forward 50. A couple of Demons go to ground. Petty was pushed out of it. He'll win the free kick. A few boos from the Dockers, but it was there. Knocked to ground pretty early in the contest. Late in this third term, the kick outside 50 wasn't great. Intercepted by O'Driscoll, 52 metres out. Might fancy his chances here, O'Driscoll. Instead says he'll pop it up. Sees Jackson inside 50, couldn't mark. Coming through Dudley, won the ball, got the handball to Bolton. Shakes one, shakes two, handball to Jackson, back to Dudley, snap on goal. Deadly Dudley does it again. He's got 2 goals. And the Dockers are running rampant now at Perth Stadium. 15-12, 102. They bring up the ton. Melbourne 6-6-42. Margin 10 goals. 28 minutes gone in the third term. Sharad Wellingham, Cara Antonio.
Yeah, Freo seem to be just doing what they want at will at the moment, creating turnovers, putting on pressure, and then their energy inside the forward 50 there was just exceptional. Retaining possession, testing tackles. And as you said, Mitch, Deadly Dudley does it again.
Luke Jackson threw him out like a little baby. Like he lifted him up in the
Lion
air.
King style.
Yeah, he was that excited. Just kept the ball alive, didn't they? Kept heat on the ball and great finish.
That would be one stretched jumper. Got Isaiah Dudley the way that he was just lifted up. A big frame of Luke Jackson, who then wins the tap down to himself, and he gets a kick away towards centre half forward for the Dockers. Dudley coming out, tried to mark it, couldn't. Socket off the ground by Reid inside forward 50. Here's Dudley again! Throws it on the outside of the right boot. Oh, dynamic! is a delight. 16-12, 108 to 6-6-42. Freo's lead is 66 points. It's party time at Perth Stadium now for the Fremantle faithful. 29 minutes gone in the third. Freo in utter control.
The thing I liked about that, there was no real clean possession from any Fremantle player up until the Dudley kick, and just their willingness to keep the ball going forward, knock it on, soccer it, create some havoc. And yeah, Dudley's energy inside that forward 50 is awesome at the moment.
Slow down, Isaiah. Got to fill out the scorebook. Running out of time. He keeps kicking them so quickly. Jackson soccers it forward from the middle. Murphy Reid, terrific. Won the ball. Gave it to Bolton. 55 out. Kicks to the top of the goal square. Voss, one grab, two. Couldn't take it. Rushed through by a lever. Age and experience paid dividends. Minor score for the Dockers, 16-13, 109. Melbourne 6-6-42. Margin 67 points. Christian Salem a little sore after that last clearance in the middle.
Just for the kids listening in, yes, the margin is 6-7. Lever, short. Finds Howes. Hard up against the boundary, right back pocket. Go long beyond defensive, 50 for the Demons. Big pack underneath it, this time through Gawn's hands. Hasn't dropped many this evening. Now towards the boundary line. It's going to be a free kick. Last touch out of bounds, going the way of Melbourne. Langdon takes it, moves it on to Cozzy Pickett. The pink boots, steers it down the line. Chance for Steele to go inside forward 50. Ryan! 113 led the other to the football. Ryan in front of Cully, and he takes the mark in his defensive 50. Just inside where it's painted on the turf. Dockers defender goes to Brayshaw. This will be disposal 28 for him. Kicks towards left half forward as the siren sounds for three-quarter time. What a performance from Fremantle. After being challenged in the second term, they have hit back strongly. In that quarter, able to put on 7 goals to just 1 for the Dockers. It was a quarter-time lead of 42 points, a half-time lead of 31 points. It's a three-quarter-time lead, a game-high 67. 16-13, 109 to Melbourne 6-6-42. The goal kickers, Josh Tracy has 4. Isaiah Dudley with 3. 2 to Murphy Reid, 2 to Shea Bolton. Singles to Sarong, to Brayshaw, to Voss, to Switkowski and to Johnson. While for the Demons, all individual goal kickers, Langdon, Myercheck, Sharp, Fritsch, Sparrow and Pickett. Earlier today, wins to the Suns over Richmond by 68 points, and St Kilda hung on to beat GWS by 4 points. Repeating here, three-quarter time at Perth Stadium. It's the Dockers who lead by 67 points. Wherever you're listening on ABC local radio, Sport Digital and streaming on ABC Listen, this is Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Exciting, rule-breaking, shaping who we are.
When the song was released, it was banned.
Inspiring arts in When the War is Over, Take 5 with Zan Rowe and the new season of The Piano.
It's fabulous.
Creativity and so much more on ABC iView.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Comes to Sarong from the wing, kicks up towards Dudley, handball to Murphy Reid, runs to 45, put it in the book. Brayshaw has Windsor in pursuit, managed to get a handball away. Tracy had a terrific pickup, handball up the wing to Dudley. Cozzy Pickett's running him down, he won't get there. Dudley kicks towards goal, it bounces through.
Dockers break away, taking a bounce at left half forward Bolton. Bolton goes long towards goal, that is a great kick. A telling moment.
McPhee, another former Demon, takes the mark. Now gives it over the top by hand. Chapman can launch the Dockers inside 50. Tracy sets himself, and Tracy marks. The bright boots, the bright lights, the perfect drop punts, and the double cobra to the crowd. Chandler was clean. Handball to Tolstrup, to Sparrow. The Demons need this one, and he gives it to them.
Wow, it's been An ugly last 5 or 6 minutes from
just chaotic.
Both sides. Yeah, just
Sarong gathers off the deck, spins, shoots, goal! Wonderful finish.
Coming through Dudley, won the ball, got the handball to Bolton, shakes one, shakes two, handball to Jackson, back to Dudley, snap on goal, Deadly Dudley does it again.
Dudley coming out, tried to mark it, couldn't. Sock it off the ground by Reid inside forward 50. Here's Dudley again! Rose on the outside of the right move. Oh, dynamic!
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
There's something about him when he's up and about, Isaiah Dudley. What a performance. 3 goals. Charles Josh Tracy, who's got 4, but Fremantle lead this game comprehensively at the moment. 3-quarter time, and they're up by 67 points. An update for you in the final of the Women's Asian Cup taking place in Sydney. 81 minutes gone there, and Japan still lead the Australians by 1-0. Hayley Rasso went close a short time ago, but still Japan leading by that 17th minute goal to Hamano. 1-0 over the Australians. Let's get the thoughts of our experts, Sharon Wellingham and Cara Antonio on ABC Sport.
Well, Freo started that third quarter like they started the game, out of the blocks, high-pressured footy, hit the scoreboard when needed, and really, you mentioned it, I think, at half-time, Shaz, Melbourne just no forward 50 method, a lot of kicking and hoping. And
doing their forwards no favours, are they?
No, and I just looked at the stats, the marks that quarter. McDonald had 4, Luke Ryan had 4, and Chapman had 3. So balls going in, easy turnovers, not giving their forwards first look, and at the end of the day, you look at the stats from that third quarter, they're very similar. Similar inside forward 50, so they got opportunity, but 7 goals 2 to 1 goal 2 in the end, and that's why Fremantle...
Through a lack of method.
Absolutely.
I just think that Melbourne are dumping it in there. They're creating some turnovers, and Gawn, as you said, Clint's doing a great job of marking the ball all around the ground. But there's no method to their ball movement that we can really pick up on, is there? And dumping it inside their forward 50 on top of their forwards' heads and just bringing it. Pearce is playing a great game, isn't he? He's just...
very good.
Yeah, giving Van Rooyen and all of the forwards zero chance of taking a mark.
They just can't get on top at stoppage either. Fremantle kicked 5 goals 6 from stoppage for the game. Melbourne just the 2 points. So you've got, obviously, Max Gawn, the best ruckman in the comp, just not getting to work at ground level with their mids. Brayshaw's been outstanding. We've seen Shea Bolton's hit the scoreboard and been really prominent inside stoppage as well. So they're not being able to connect from inside to outside and then give their forwards or forward half of the ground any opportunity to score, which Freo have been able to capitalise on.
Murphy Reid getting involved that quarter as well, I think, was a big telling tale as to their dominance. His ability just to find players in space, dish off beautiful hands. There was a couple of nice collects or soccers where he put his teammate into space. 7 touches in a goal that quarter was really influential.
So some of the stats: contested possessions, the Dockers ahead by 20. Clearances, they lead the Demons by 5. The tackle count in Melbourne's favour by 11. The inside 50s 48 to 39 the Dockers' way. Brayshaw has 28 disposals and a goal. Bolton 24 and 2. Jordan Clark with 22 touches for the Demons. Christian Salem has 23 touches, 22 kicks, 1 handball. That's his role. Jack Steele has 22 touches. Max Gorm to go for his 19 hitouts and 10 marks, 18 touches.
Melbourne have broken.
Melbourne are broken?
I thought you were about to say something, sorry.
Oh. No, I was about to say something.
Melbourne have broken from their huddle. The Dockers now, which has been consistent.
Yeah.
Melbourne have been ready to go well before Freo, but whatever Mr. Lemieux has said, has worked a treat for them. Your name is Stephen King. You should be used to dealing with the odd horrific storyline. But what has the Melbourne coach got as an ending now? Because this could become truly ugly for them. They trail by 67 points. And if it wasn't for the efforts of Max Gawn, who has had 10 marks, 19 hitouts, 11 contested possessions and 18 touches in full, along with a couple of ground ball gets, they would have been completely wiped. We're ready to go in this second half. Results earlier today, last quarter, I beg your pardon. Results earlier today, Gold Coast by 68, St Kilda by 4. Saints just hanging on against GWS. Lights went off for a second, they're back on. And we're underway in the final term. Darcy probably got the more telling tap. It came out to Brayshaw. What a game he's having. Throws it on the boot immediately. Kicks towards centre half forward. Boss gathers, spins out of trouble. Gave it off to Bolton. From 51 out, looks for Tracy, who marks at right full forward. The big kahuna wants 5. He'll start from hard up against the boundary. We'll have to curl it around. Of course, if you're listening to us on 102.5 ABC Perth on FM, you'll hear him Thursdays before Fremantle games on Mark Gibson on the breakfast program. Plenty to talk about this coming Thursday, no doubt. Here is Tracy, looking to wheel around. He's hit the fat bit. It's gone up and across and out of bounds on the full.
They've dropped the tag too by the looks of it, Melbourne. So Tolstrop's come off Sarong and gone straight to Dudley at the start of this last quarter.
I wonder if Gibbo will ask him about that as Jath sends it beyond defensive 50 after the free kick. Dropped there Van Rooyen. Came out towards O'Driscoll, moved it on to Dudley. Quick hand pass to Brayshaw. To Voss in the left forward pocket. He snaps, he misses. He's gone narrow to the left. A minor score. Opening 70 seconds or so. Melbourne at 6-6-42. The Dockers have moved to be 16-14, 110.
Tough run for Colton Tolstrup. After you've done a really good job on one of the best midfielders in the game, they say, well, this guy's dominating up forward, so go mark him. Long kick out to the southern side. Good mark. Cully shooting sleeve high in the air. Hands like vices. Goes quickly. Finds Myercheck on the wing. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Fritsch had good position. Couldn't mark. Spills to Sharp. Left foot snap around the body. A little bit of pride for the Demons. Sharp gets his second goal. And Melbourne get just their second goal of the second half. They move to 7-6-48. Fremantle 16-14, 110. The margin is 62 points. Prior to that goal, they had scored just 1 goal 2 in, how long is that? Almost 50 minutes of football.
And they've had opportunity though, as we spoke about, Mitch. Number of inside 50s, just their method going inside just wasn't working, and that quick burst of speed from the halfback. Myercheck gets it out the back.
They had a clear mindset then to roll and go. Every time 100%. They took a mark, they were going straight away, which was inviting the forwards to lead back to goal. So maybe that's what Stephen King's final chapter is.
The restart. Good line from you, Sharrock. Came out to Bolton. Moved it on to Brayshaw. Kick towards right half forward. It bounces towards the boundary line. Scooping it up there again is Sherry. Great debut for him. Amos, not a great kick back. Allowed Langdon to knock it away. Got it to John Scully, then moved it on again through the middle through Steele. Now a chance for Fritsch to go long over the top. Trying to run onto it Sharp, the most recent goal kicker. Sharp went one way, then the other. Centres the football, wanted Steele. Spurl came from McDonald. Did well, bounced up to Ryan. Gave it back to Oscar McDonald. Then to Clark. Goes beyond defensive 50 and he finds O'Driscoll, who marks.
O'Driscoll inboard. Just backward of the wing to Sarong, who wheels. Kicks it into the middle of the ground. The Dockers can go if they can mark it. No. Rivers read it well. It was over the head of Sherry. He goes up the middle. Trent Rivers finds Steele attacking edge of the centre square. Handball to Chandler. Steps around Warner. Normally a good finisher. This time no different. Cade Chandler gets his first. The Demons get 2 in a row. And it might be too little too late. But Stephen King would be impressed that there's some sort of fight in this final term. Margin back to 56 points. 8-6-54. Melbourne to Fremantle 16-14, 110. Sharad Wellingham, Cara Antonio.
It's a little bit frustrating sitting up here and you go, why have they not tried to play fast and take the game on for the whole 3 quarters prior to this? The second quarter, when they took it up to Fremantle, they really just dragged them into the trenches. It wasn't anything, exciting. automatically in this last quarter, you can see they're trying to take the game on.
Something's clicked in the final term, and maybe it was the King's speech.
Oh, good. I like that. I'll go forward again, the Demons. Well worked. Kick towards right half forward. It bounces the way of O'Driscoll. Got tackled by Sparrow. Got a hand pass out to Oscar McDonald. His kick is out of bounds on the full. Melbourne will have another opportunity here. They'll have it right half forward. Great disposal out of the centre from Jack Steele. Tolstrup with it with the free kick. Goes looking for Gawn. Punch came from Chapman at the side. Knocked by Wagner forward as far as Bolton for the Dockers. Then to Brayshaw. Hand pass went behind Reid. Diving on the football, showing real intent was Latrell. Pickett. Play on the call from the umpire. Came the way of Steele. Then to Gawn. Steele tries to gather again up against Wagner. It's going to be locked in here. Right half forward ball up. 16-14, 110 the Dockers. 8-6-50 for the Demons. 5.5 gone in the last.
Players very slowly getting to their feet these first couple of rounds. High-speed games, a lot of fatigue. Ball tapped down. Cozzy Pickett trying to tap it to his own advantage. Gave it away to Warner, to Brayshaw. Now Bolton for the Dockers. High kick to the wing, and lucky has done so often across his career. Jake Lever floats in and takes the intercept mark. Cozzy Pickett doing a mountain of work. Gave him an option in the centre circle. Received the kick, played on. Got it to Langdon. Long kick now inside 50 for the Demons, and Warner is there. Takes the mark for Fremantle. He's growing into some sort of player, Carl Warner, after being a rookie selection a few years ago. Now a staple in their side. His kick out of the southern side, though, is marked by Jaff. We can send Melbourne back inside 50 to lead a Van Rooyen, who holds on to a good mark. Hasn't had a lot of opportunity today. Has had Fremantle defenders draped all over him. And now with Oscar McDonald standing with his feet right on the paint of 50, just left of centre. As key forwards do, he thinks, I think I've earned a set shot here.
Well, he's allowed to, but who was it in the first quarter? Tolstrup?
Yeah.
Wasn't allowed to?
Same distance. Jacob Van Rooyen. The West Aussie back in front of his home crowd. The kick is going to go right to the line, off hands, gone out of the air. Pulls it down, snaps it and misses. He can do almost everything, Max Gawn. 8-7-55 Melbourne, 16-14 at 110 the Dockers. 7.5 played in the final term at Perth Stadium. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
It's going to be on the losing side, but he's had some sort of a game, Max Gawn. Warner from the left back pocket goes short to Clark. Clark heads right back to full back and finds Chapman. Chapman will kick it long towards right half back. Big collision here. Cully came one way, Amos the other. They collide, the ball off hands and over for a boundary throw-in. Into added time in the Women's Asian Cup final. 4 minutes of added time. They played 92. Japan still lead 1-0 over the Matildas. Ball spun back in again. Gawn won it down. Got it to Reid. Great hand pass. Unlocks Bolton. Runs to the wing. Takes a bounce. Loose to the footy and bounced off Penny and came back to him. Remarkable. On insert again to Reid. Through the middle to Wagner. Then the kick is towards Tracy, who marks 50 from goal. He's got options if he wants them. Goes looking for Voss. Jaff won it to ground, tries to see it to the boundary, spilled out again. Voss will look to steal it away against Howes. Oh, he's just decided to lift Langdon up in the air and take him over the boundary line. And for a moment I thought he was going to ragdoll him and throw him into the crowd. Almost WWE sort of stuff then for the big fella Patrick Voss. Quick everybody, hide the chairs and tables before he gets any ideas. Throwing in again. Gawn looks to work it away. Latrell Pickett got it onto Chandler for the Demons. Then in turn to Rivers. Knocked forward by Cully. Chandler couldn't gather. Sherry will pick it up. Back by a hand for the Dockers to right half forward. It goes through Wagner, then Ryan, and all the way back to Chapman, just forward of the logo. Misses Reid, who was sliding forward. Bolton can't gather under pressure. Picked up by Sparrow to Chandler, then to Langdon again through the middle.
Off to Latrell Pickett, back to Langdon. His handball was loose. Murphy Reid cuts it off for the Dockers. Can release Amos wide. Handballs it back in front of Reed. Too fast. Salem able to come in. Tackled, throws it about 20 metres forward. And the umpire says play on. Melbourne have it. Sharp. We know he'll run all day. Kicks inside the forward 50. Fritsch takes the mark in front of Warner. Will have the set shot from the pocket. 30 metres out. I'm certain he just threw that ball in the tackle like 20 metres forward.
He must have got a hand on it. Must have handballed it.
It's full time in the Matildas game in Sydney in the final of the Asian Women's Cup. And the Matildas have gone down to Japan 1-0. No victory for them. And no goal for Bailey Fritsch on this occasion. The right foot snap around the body misses. 8-8-56 Melbourne. Fremantle 16-14, 110. 10 minutes played in the final term.
Just looking again, Patrick Voss just lifting Ed Langdon up and carrying him like a child, like a bag of cement over his shoulder before dropping him across the boundary line. Long kick towards the wing for the Dockers. Beautifully read by Sherry. Burst of pace, takes two bounces, still going, and a third against Salem. Hands it off to Voss. Left forward pocket, wheels inboard, spots a teammate in Brayshaw, kicks his way, and Brayshaw marks right in front of goal and 45 out. Sherry, he has got something.
He's exciting, isn't he? Love the player who takes the game on. Literally looked at Salem and went, I'm still going.
Tucked the ball under the arm. Great vision, though, from Voss. Because earlier in the game, he probably would have snapped it over his shoulder. So, really good team footy here from the Dockers.
Andy Brayshaw has one tonight. Kicks on its way. It's not going to have the carry or the accuracy. It's disappointing by his performance this evening. It's dropped short.
Got too close to the man on the mark, I think.
He did. It allowed Rivers to take the mark at left full back. Gave it to Lever. Short pass just far enough to be a mark. To Salem, who stabs it into the middle of the ground. Now the Demons move it towards centre wing from Tolstrup, and there's a free kick being given away here by Melbourne. It'll come back to Jackson, who is infringed in the marking contest. Fremantle with a 54-point lead, 12 gone into the last.
Still getting over Patrick Voss and that whole thing. Patrick Voss or Patrick Swayze in Dirty Dancing? Was almost trying to do the lift. Had him above the head. It was a beautiful sight to see.
Bet it wasn't that beautifully shredded, Langton.
The Dockers, so Ryan goes back inside to McVie, back out to Ryan at right half back, and now out to Brayshaw for disposal. 35 coming up. And a down week last week, as mentioned. Just the 14 touches the entire game. He racked that up in the first quarter tonight and now has 35 as Wagner goes back inside 50 to Ryan and back out to left half back to McVie. Just clip this up and keep replaying it. It's the same kind of thing as McVie goes short to Chapman, turns it over to Langdon, to Fritsch. Snap on goal. That is a thing of beauty. That's a lovely finish by Bailey Fritsch for his second. The Dockers were just chipping the ball around. They'd made the mistake. It was a former Demon giving it to a former Docker, and it ended with Bailey Fritsch, 2 goals, and the margin is 48 points. 9-8-62 Melbourne, 16-14, 110 Fremantle. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Unnecessary just to be trying to chip it around and not take some territory. I know they're trying to make the ground big and create a vacuum in the middle to try and come through, but take some territory if there's nothing on. Don't try and invent something and invite a turnover.
And there's no point going back into your shell. There's still 10 minutes to go. You're not going to chew 2 or 3 or 4 minutes off the clock. Like, fans want you to sit still, come through the corridor, play exciting footy. Don't play old Dockers footy. We want the new stuff.
One down by Van Rooyen in the middle. A telling tap against Jackson. Spilled to Steele. Kick up in the air inside forward 50. Well read by Warner. He knew he was going to get tackled by Myercheck as well, but he leapt up, cradled the ball into his chest, and he had it just inside the top of the defensive 50-metre arc. He'll flare it out towards Brayshaw, who marks it right half back. This to be disposal 36 for Brayshaw tonight. Handed it on to Ryan. Down the line, Jaff through his hands, lever behind for the Demons. Hand pass forward, Sparrow, too hot for him to handle. Cully couldn't take it, neither could Sarong first time. Still there to be won. Cully backed up again. The red shooter's sleeve on. He took on Dudley. They'll lock arms. The football somewhere in between them as they go to ground on the southern wing. Ball up the call. Still Freo's lead, 48 points. Out of the restart, it came in the direction of Sarong, getting there first though, Bolton. Back to Brayshaw. It's a short kick that bounces the way of Erasmus. Tackled by Sparrow. Hand pass went awry. Scooped up there by Sharp. Now it's with Salem. Will kick inside forward 50. Leading out to take the mark, Fritsch. Leapt up in the air and marked it on his chest. He wants to have a shot. He'll be shooting from about 52 out. It's a 45-degree angle to the left. Bailey Fritsch is their only multiple goal kicker this evening. He's got 2. Was a 5-time leading goal kicker at the Demons. As Mitch said, had a day out in the 21 grand final on this ground. Fritsch from 52 out. Kicks on its way. It's missing left. It stays left. He's missed the lot. No change to that score. That has Fremantle 16-14, 110 to Melbourne 9-8-62. It's a lead of 48 points for the Dockers, 16 gone in the last.
Sitting next to one of the Norm Smith voters on that night, and when Bailey Fritsch put the 6 through, they said, well, 6 in a grand final is a pretty big effort, but no, Christian Petrarca got the medal. The Dockers, once again, work it down the broadcast wing pretty easily too. O'Driscoll into Tracy, over the top, inside 50. Voss, one grab, can't mark, taps it to his advantage. Johnson picks it up, runs into trouble, handballs to Dudley. Oh, Isaiah Dudley thinned the ball straight to the Melbourne player on the goal line in House, who can clear it towards right half back. Rivers will mark for Melbourne and go up the line to Steele, who's had a good game, Jack Steele. Disposal 29 for him in the new colours. His kick on this occasion, though, was not a good one. Snapped around the body straight to Erasmus, and the Dockers will go forward again. Erasmus to Reid. Into the middle to McVie. Players flooding back. Just forward to the centre circle. Judd McVie into the pocket. Jackson. 1 grab, 2 grabs, mark. Set shot coming up about 40 metres out. Tight angle to the right. Demons fans lament what they once cheered. Stephen King watches on in disappointment. Luke Jackson lining up for his first goal tonight. 2 behinds. Measured approach. Heavy strapping on the right thigh. Luke Jackson, drop punt is on the way. He turns to the Dockers faithful and says, "Let me hear you." Party time, the lights flash, the music blares, and the Dockers go up by 54 points. 17-14, 116. Melbourne a 9-8-62. 18 minutes played, approaching time on in the final term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sports. Sharon Wellingham and Cara Antonio.
Yeah, he just did a good job of losing his opponent in Van Rooyen. It was a couple of leads that Jackson had to do it over, but too strong. Got behind Van Rooyen and as a forward, probably not the right positioning. And then the kick was really nicely weighted to his advantage.
A 10th individual goal kicker for Fremantle now. Tracy still leading the way with 4, Dudley with 3, couple to Murphy, Reid and Shea Bolton, but Jackson puts his name on that list. As Melbourne will win the clearance out of the middle. Sharp, or rather, Windsor sends it long inside forward 50. Chandler onto it, great tackle, run down holding the ball. He absolutely got him there, Warner. Wonderful execution. Could so easily have given away a free kick by driving into the ground. Didn't. And gets the free kick himself. And then sends it with pinpoint accuracy out towards Ryan, standing hard up against the boundary at left half back with Cozzy Pickett right with him. Ryan will wheel in ball. Kicks towards the wing commentary side and well read by Max Gawn. Drags in what is now mark number 11 to match what's on the back of his shirt. Sends it back to Jaff inside his defensive 50. Under pressure from Switkowski. Jaff has to get a move on. Kicks an ugly ball up in the air. He's run too far. Switkowski didn't give it up. Just kept chasing and chasing and chasing. And he's been able to make sure that he will then get a free kick in front of goal.
He's made some mistakes with ball in hand just after all this evening, Jaff. Not enough composure.
Sam Switkowski has had a challenging run of concussions. His first goal of the season earlier tonight, the 29-year-old. Looking to push the score up to 10 goals in the difference. Kick is to the right and misses. Not by much, but nonetheless, a minor score. 55 points that margin, 17-15 plays 9-8. Dockers over the Demons. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport, on ABC Local Radio, Sport Digital and on ABC Listen.
The Demons bring the ball back into play. Long kick to the wing. Van Rooyen and Cully went up, couldn't mark. McDonald for the Dockers, came straight to Jaff. He lost it. Now to Switkowski for the Dockers. To Wagner. Tried to shake the tackle of Langdon. And the ball...
Free kick given away.
Yeah, don't really know.
I think it was in the goal square, the Freo forward.
Patrick Voss is the deepest one. Wouldn't surprise me. The Demons go quickly. Cully's kick inside 50 is terrible for Fritsch and rolls out of bounds in the just inside right half forward. Official match attendance, the first one for the Dockers at home in 2026. 44,736 on a, let's be honest, a beautiful evening for football. More to come here at Perth Stadium tomorrow with the Eagles and North Melbourne in action. From the restart, Wagner crashes through. Can't break through. He's taken to ground. There'll be a ball up 45 metres out from Melbourne's attacking goal.
Still with 29 touches leads the way for the Demons. Brayshaw 37. They're both on the bench for whatever it's worth. So we close in on full time. Here's Cully gathering it and then spinning around and kicking it out of bounds on the full from right half forward. So it'll be a free kick to Fremantle here to McVee, the former Demon. First year in Dockers colours. He's got it at left full back. Judd McVee sends it back from whence it came. The two rucks give each other a little nudge. It's off the hands of Tracy and out and over for a boundary throwing. Big win for the Dockers. Couldn't afford to let another game slip. They'll go 1-1, as will the Demons. The start of 2026. Throwing in, Tracy took that really well. Trying to work it out to O'Driscoll, who couldn't gather. Rivers does for the Demons. Moved it forward. Cosy Pickett, clever tap onto the run of Chandler. Gathered at the top of the attacking 50. Kicked towards goal, but missed. It bounces through to the left for a minor score. 9-9-63 the Demons. The Dockers 17-15, 117. Freo over Melbourne, 23 gone in the last. Dockers by 54 points.
Luke Ryan, first game of the season. Laid in today for Brandon Walker, who was out with soreness. Brings the ball back into play to Chapman, now inside, centrally the defensive 50 to Carl Warner. He's had a solid game today. Carl Warner, this kick though, not great. Gave it to Van Rooyen, who gave it to Lindsay, and he's wrapped up downstairs where Cash spotted up.
Yeah, just an interesting one. Alex Pearce has not come on the field at all in this final quarter. The Dockers assure me that he is perfectly fine. It's like an unofficial sub.
Well, he didn't come on for the first 15-20 minutes against Geelong. It went the other way, and now they've reversed it. Melbourne from the clearance, snapping inside 50, where Pickett takes the mark and will take a pretty quick set shot. This is Keziah Pickett. He's got one goal tonight. Set shot on the way. It's bending, it's not bending enough. And umpire David Roden will signal a behind. 9-10-64. Melbourne 17-15, 117. The Dockers, 24 minutes played, margin 53 points.
Here's Wagner up the middle, long kick 2:35's battling away. Neither could get there. Tracy went over the top of the football. Petty stayed on his feet. Slapped out of there by Steele. Only as far as the Dockers. Brayshaw now with it. Came to O'Driscoll. Found some space amongst 5 Demons. Kicked short to the logo. Marked there by Sherry. Great debut. Gave it off to Murphy Reid. Handed it back to Brayshaw. Then to Reid again. And the kick was to Sarong. Stretching and marking. Commentary edge of the centre square. Switching play towards right half forward. Ryan was there in space. He takes a mark. Fritsch stands at the mark as Ryan goes short back into the centre square. Marked there by Erasmus. He'll launch a kick inside forward 50. Jaff, front position, punches it over the boundary line for a throw-in. 20 out from Freo's goal, heading to the left of our broadcast position in this quarter.
Andrew Brayshaw up to 39 disposals, one away from reaching 40 for the 4th time in his career. All spun back in off the hand of Darcy. Amos overran it. Brayshaw trying to get a boot to it, couldn't. It's picked up by Steele. A handball to Windsor. Straight up the elevator shaft went the ball. It falls down. No one can touch it. Eventually Erasmus came in. He lost it. Now Chandler has it for Melbourne. Bit of fancy footwork. Tries to get away from Erasmus. Does so. And then dances around Dudley for good measure and delivers it on a platter. Out to the wing to Myercheck. Terrific work by Chandler. Myercheck's kick towards half forward is marked by Fritsch. Right on the paints of 50 as players streaming forward. Kicks over the top and Langdon marks right in front of goal. He'll go back on the angle, but he's only a couple of metres out. It's definitely improved the angle. But he'll step around the corner, Ed Langdon. A chance for his second. He snaps. He goals. Langdon's got 2. Melbourne have their 10th. 10-10-70. The Demons. The Dockers are 17-15. 117. Margin is 47 points. We are well and truly into time on in this 4th term for the Dockers home opener.
The one positive for Melbourne is they're still trying to run this game out, still trying to
take it on,
add speed to the, absolutely take the game on, add speed to the ball. So for Stephen King sitting up in the box and probably at 3/4 time, he urged his players to run this game out, and to their credit, they haven't dropped away. The effort's still been there, and they've been able to hit the scoreboard with a couple of goals.
Plenty of sequels to come for Stephen King. All up again. Trying to turn was Gorn. Couldn't gather. Jackson picked it up off the ground. Hand pass to Bolton for the Dockers. Took a bounce, gave it to Johnson. Back to Bolton, bursting through. Kicks in the direction of Darcy at full forward. He juggled it, couldn't hang on to it. And then it's spilled down and the kick's gone out of bounds on the full. And that will be frustration plus for Petty.
They're raffling it off. Voss wants it. I think they're telling he has to give it to Tracy.
Tracy, the nearest man to a Voss currently.
Throws his head back.
Did you see how quick he ran over to Voss from the goal square?
Tracy wants 5.
Wants to share the chocolates.
Voss wasn't prancing. He was galloping towards that football. Here is Tracy with ball in hand.
You middled the last one, remember?
Left forward pocket, 20 out from goal. Oh, as sweet as you like for 5. Nope. Goodness me, I thought that was
that looked in.
Looked like it went through the middle.
That looked in.
Well, I'm confused. From where I sat, I'm sure the goal umpire had a better view, but nonetheless, that looked very close to me.
I don't reckon we could have had a better view.
I reckon the box next door thought the same thing. Nonetheless, minor score. Fremantle lead has gone out to 48 points.
Seconds run down. I'm incredibly confused. I thought it went straight through the middle. Kick to half forward to the Demons. Off hands. Comes to Pickett. Tackled. This is Cozzy. Got rid of it. Got it out to Langford. He's harassed by McVie. Former teammates, now opponents. Gets it to Cozzy Pickett. Hasn't stopped trying all day. Handball forward. Now a kick. And it goes to Windsor. 60 out from home. Fremantle's season finally leaves the dock. Their first win of 2026 gets them on the board and gives Stephen King his first loss as the Demons coach. The Dockers win by 48 points.
So Fremantle by 48 points in the end. They led by 42 at quarter time after a blistering start where they kicked 7 goals to 1. Melbourne cut that margin back to 31 points by half time. Fremantle then stormed again to lead by 67 at three-quarter time. But the Demons, while well beaten, certainly continued to fight. The margin, as I said, 48 points at the end. 17-16 to 10-10. The goal kickers, Josh Tracy with 4, 3 to Dudley, and he left one out there as well. 2 to Bolton, 2 to Reid, singles to Johnson, to Switkowski, to Voss, to Jackson, to Brayshaw, and to Sarong. While for the Demons, Langdon kicked 2, Fritsch kicked 2. Mychek, Sharp, Sparrow, and Cozzy Pickett, the other goal kickers. Brayshaw with 39 touches and a goal for the Fremantle Dockers tonight in front of a crowd of 44,736. The Dockers, home sweet home. What did you make of it all? Collingwood Premiership player Sharrod Wellingham, Dockers All-Australian and former AFLW captain in Cara Antonio.
It was impressive. It was a little bit up and down, but it was a very impressive outing, I would say, for 75% of the time for Fremantle. I'm liking the way when they are aggressive and daring with their ball movement. Obviously, that second quarter, they got dragged into going slow and didn't really get much time in their forward half. But on the whole, I thought it was pretty impressive. And from the Melbourne point of view, and like you said, I definitely agree that they had the mindset to run that game out for a growing side, for a side under a new coach. For them to do that, it's pretty impressive on the long road trip. So I think that they'll go off the ground right now. Looking forward to being able to get back out on the training track next week. They didn't get thumped for the whole game, so they're not going to have a really horrible taste in the mouth. It was all set up by that blistering first quarter, wasn't it, from Fremantle? So the big kahuna, impressive. Brayshaw, really impressive. Pearce down back was really impressive. Let down again, as I said. For mine, Darcy just doesn't offer enough for Fremantle. I think they're... are they a better side with him playing, or is it worthwhile bringing in some more run and versatility and just going the one ruck? And I don't know. It's an interesting query, isn't it?
Well, you make a good point. I mean, in terms of time on ground, Alex Pearce ended only up on 50% game time. Sean Darcy just ahead of him on 54%. So obviously they're managing Pearce. I know he was a little bit sore potentially last week at the start of the game. But yeah, it's a good point you make. They've got, tonight they had 2 players on just over 50% game time. It's, do you need some more run, and do you need someone else that you're going to bring in, younger players? They're paying a lot for him, as you mentioned at the start of the call. So, yeah, it's definitely one that I think they'll persist with. But they've obviously got Mason Cox in the background that they know that they can bring in that can add a bit of value. But
that would hurt, though, wouldn't it?
Oh,
well, no, Mason Cox.
So what? It hurts his feelings.
No. You're paying him peanuts, and because he's been picked up as an SSP signing, and you end up playing him because he's better for your side than a guy on $1 million a year.
That hurts the club or hurts Darcy?
The club, it's a pride-swallowing thing, isn't it? Admitting that you got it wrong. And they should have traded him 3 years ago. If they're thinking like that, they're going to continue to dish up what they've dished up for the last 25 years. Is it part of it that... So Jackson starts in the ruck against the number 1 ruck from the other team, and part of their thinking is, well, a lot of teams are now playing 2 rucks or rolling the back up through there kind of thing, and Darcy's going to dominate the second one. The problem is when he goes up against the number 1, he's getting smashed. Like he couldn't go with Gawn tonight around the ground. He actually couldn't make a contest because he couldn't get to the drop of the ball where the mark was.
Yeah,
he's not mobile enough for the new rule, and the way that I think Dockers want to play the game, like again, you saw him in the last quarter. He went forward. He doesn't provide all that much up forward. So, I mean, again, they get the win. They were impressive. I thought in the first and third quarter, they kicked 7 goals in each of those quarters. I thought Melbourne had the better of them in that last quarter, and they ran out the game. So there's still some things to work on from a Dockers point of view if you want to play finals, and especially if you want to finish in the top 4. But a lot of positives to take out of it, no doubt as well, that they know that they can start games and come out of half-time and start really strongly. A number of multiple goal scorers I thought were really good, and a number of players stepped up tonight. Obviously with Sarong being tagged out of the game almost for 3 and a bit quarters. I thought Brayshaw and Bolton were outstanding and were able to hit the scoreboard as well, and big Kahuna kicking 4 was really impressive.
4 and asterisks.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that last one.
That was clearly through the middle.
Yeah, from our angle, it was definitely through the middle.
They don't have anybody else. They've got an untried recruit.
Who's this?
For a ruck back up. So
no, they don't.
Cox is the only one.
Cox he's been in the squad and was in the squad for Geelong, travelled over there, was in the squad tonight. They didn't play him, but
so Ollie Murphy.
They've got a huge injury concern though.
With
Jordan Clark with warm hands.
What is that?
Don't know.
What were they called?
Ice mitts.
Ice mitts.
I'm Googling. I've never heard of that.
Kevin Parker from Tame Impala's in the house.
Ice mitts.
Might be his next song.
Yeah. Ice mitts.
So back to, they are not sitting around in match committee going, oh, but we're paying him too much to have him sit around and not be playing.
How long's he got left?
At least we hope not. I will interrupt because we better go downstairs. The Cash Fodadar is in the Dockers' rooms. They're making their way into Cash.
Yeah, that's right, Clint. They've all just come in right now set up for the song. Plenty of friends and family around here. It's very, very packed, but I expect this one to be sung with some gusto after the first win of the season. And Judd McVie and Chris Sherry getting some sports drink shower as well. Just about ready. Here we go. We should have a Dockers player join us shortly.
Thanks to Cash. Certainly means a lot for Fremantle after the disappointment of last week to hit back and get a win at home in front of their adoring fans. 44,736 turned up tonight for the Dockers to watch them beat the Demons by 48 points. 17-16, 118 to 10-10, 70. If you've just joined us, wherever you happen to be around the place, on ABC Local Radio, Sport Digital, or on ABC Listen, these are the other results today. Gold Coast by 68 points against Richmond, and St Kilda by 4 points over GWS. They hung on, the Saints. They got very nervous very late. Fair bit to get through. We'll talk a lot about Freo and a number of their guns, but before we go into those sorts of details, how exciting was the debut of Chris Sherry, who, again, I know that you can find these players, and they are about, and we saw Milan Murdoch certainly be probably the Eagles' best in their first game against the Gold Coast, but Sherry was playing with the Northern Bullants. His last senior game of footy was playing in the grand final of the Eastern Districts League, and then he's come out after coming across, rolled the dice, got invited to be over here. He was their late pickup in the supplemental draft, supplemental selection. Gets a chance in the second game of the year when one of your guns misses out in Hayden Young, and you put in a performance like that where he showed genuine pace, he showed real awareness, he showed the ability and the desire to chase. And on top of all of that, when you have a look at some of his stats, he's had 20 disposals on debut. He's had 2 tackles, 4 inside 50s, 7 contested possessions. And throw in, by the way, 264 metres gained. That is some sort of a debut.
Very impressive. I love the pace, love his tenacity and willingness to take the game on. It's a good find.
I mean,
how old is he?
19. I know that Richmond aren't wanting for young talent, but he's signed with their VFL side.
Yeah.
And they'd be thinking,
why
did we sign him to our AFL side?
Yeah.
Because this guy would fit in beautifully the way Richmond play with Seth Campbell and all those young, quick guys. But it's always funny when they get overlooked, especially when they're right under the VFL's nose over east, and then a club like Fremantle is able to pluck him all the way over west, recognise he's good. He got signed 31 days ago.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So after 19 years to get drafted or signed, 31 days it only takes to play your first game. He was terrific, wasn't he?
He had an impact, definitely.
Definitely.
I'm trying to find his score involvements.
Well, it was almost from the moment he first came on when he applied genuine 5 score involvements. Outstanding. Applied genuine pressure, and you would expect that, but it was a real chase to, I'm going to make your life a misery getting this ball out of your defensive 50. He was prepared to back himself at the right times. He was prepared to take on players. He used his hands well. He showed a huge amount of courage at times as well, because, again, you've gone from playing, with the greatest respect to, I mean, we know the Essendon District's a good league and he's played VFL standards, but not against some of the hulking monsters you come up against in the AFL, and he's been prepared to put his body on the line time and time again. It's a tremendous performance for a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, he played like it was his last game of footy, didn't he? He wanted to prove that he deserved to be out there, and I really liked him. I actually looked up at one stage and I thought, wow, who's this kid? The way he broke the lines and just had genuine pace and wanted to take the game on. And with the competitive list that Fremantle have got, especially in that mid to, I suppose, high half forward group, you got to do everything you can each game to keep your spot, which I think it's competitive, and he definitely has done enough tonight to play again.
So he'll get goals too.
He will.
There's a couple of times where it didn't get to him. He was probably the last link and they just lost the ball before him, but he was on the end. He would have been the next one running into goal. He'll kick a few goals.
So from someone who played his very first game to someone who played his 172nd and had one of his best performances, and he's had a lot of good ones, but Andrew Brayshaw's effort tonight for the Dockers. Caleb Sarong, although he kicked a goal, was, by his standards, pretty well held.
Yep, he was nullified.
Tolstrup did a great job.
Yep.
Wonderful tagging effort. And that meant other people had to stand up, and Brayshaw certainly did that.
But Sarong's work around the stoppage was still to help. I think Bolton was probably the most damaging around the stoppages tonight, and that's evident through his 9 clearances that he had. That kind of selfless play. You're getting sat on, you've got to go and do something to create some space for your teammates. And so for him to go and do that and do a really good job. Brayshaw's night was just work rate, so he's obviously just managed to create, space for himself, running up and down the ground. His work rate was immense, and I think I said it in the first quarter, he's looking in amazing nick.
You said about 1 minute in, and he's had 39 touches. You're on the money. Was that Shea Bolton's best game for the club?
I think so.
32 touches, 2 goals, 1, as you mentioned, 10 clearances, and 9 score involvements, 638 metres game. That would have to be his 10 inside 50s as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, I know it was in a
that's why he was smiling.
It was a dominating performance against Melbourne. It's not like he's done it in a final or on a massive stage, but that'd have to be his most complete performance since he's come to Fremantle.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of positives.
That's positive for his season.
And poor Colton Tolstrup, as you mentioned. You get asked to tag, the advice I always got told as a junior was don't do it well. Because guess what you're doing next week? You've got to find the best player again. He's already had a crack at Naz, and now it's going to be Tolstrup, v Wanganeen Miller, v Dacos, v Sarong, v all these players. Oh, the Esperance lad, he played too well. That's why he let him get one at the end.
Yeah.
It's a powerful win for the Dockers. It's the response that they absolutely had to have.
Yep, and we said it at the start, didn't we? Like, they have to really put in a good performance, 4-quarter performance. It wasn't quite a 4-quarter performance, but it was a really convincing win, and it was done with the style that I think that they, want to be known for this year.
They move the ball so much quicker than we've seen in a long time. They have to, because of the way the game has evolved. But the only question I had at all about Fremantle was, would they be able to, because their ball movement has not been quick in recent years, would they be able to match as we'd seen the game look like it was evolved to? And they've been able to do that, even though disappointment of losing to Geelong, the 2 games we've seen, their ability to move the footballs is as quick as anybody.
Yeah, I think they clearly have done their work in the off-season with the new rule change, and you've seen some teams evolve their game plan and others haven't yet met the mark. And I love the exciting brand of footy that we know that Fremantle can play. We've seen glimpses over the years of it, but we haven't seen a 4-quarter performance or consistency over a season. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to how they can build on that. As we said, we saw glimpses of it in the first half last week. A lot more tonight, probably not as much as we would have hoped against the D's, but they can build on that. We've got Richmond, I think, next week at home, so they're going to be undermanned as well. A couple of injuries today to the Tigers, but they're an exciting young team as well that have got nothing to lose, that will come over here and throw everything at the Dockers. So they need to just keep building on this new game plan and use the runners that they've got. Let's see what they can produce over the coming weeks.
Just looking at the possession tracker for Brayshaw, 90%, there we go, it actually says it there, 70% of his stats were defensive half. So his role tonight was obviously to get back and generate that ball movement that they wanted, and that's exactly what he did.
And 39 disposals, 32 uncontested. So it goes back to what you said, Shaz. His work rate was outstanding. Just being able to spread from contest and give options, I suppose, on the outside for the Dockers, running really hard. And he's got a massive tank. He's clearly done a mountain of work in the off-season and pre-season.
Isaiah Dudley is just a joy to watch. We get excited, and rightly so, the likes of Cozzy Pickett. And one of Cozzy's goals today was just breathtaking. But, Isaiah Dudley, again, what a terrific pickup he was. And remember, he was a supplemental selection for last year. So he's been able to come in and improved out of sight, kicked 3 goals, has 6 goals so far for this season 2026. Has the ability to bob up, has the ability to tackle, just seems to know where they were. And if he really, with the greatest respect to him, probably should have had another one in tonight's game.
I love him. I love the way he goes about it. And another one, again, that got an opportunity last year and grabbed it with both hands. It was really exciting in a number of games last year, and when given the opportunity, he just knows where the goals are. When ball's in hand, he knows how to find the big sticks, and he's not, I just looked at his height, he's actually not too taller than me. So he's 168 centimetres, so...
Truthful.
Yeah.
Not like Milan Murdoch, who admitted he lied about his height.
What do you mean?
He was listed at 180 because he told him he was 180.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, but surely they just measure you.
Yeah.
Well, not when you get signed late.
Apparently not. But if he wouldn't be 180 on stilts, bless him. Let's go downstairs into the rooms. Delighted to have this person because I've just spent 5 minutes talking him up. He's with a Cash photo. Cash.
Yeah, thanks, Clint. You have been pumping him up. We've got the debutant, Chris Sherry, with us. Chris, firstly, congratulations on your AFL debut. How did it feel being out there in the purple in front of 44,000 fans?
Oh yeah, felt unreal, to be honest. I was pretty nervous throughout the whole day and yesterday. But when JL, told me I'm debuting on Thursday, it was just a dream come true. And who would have thought? A month ago I was trying to get on their list, and now I'm playing round 2, which is it's come pretty quick. But I loved it.
Have you had an opportunity, as you said, a month ago you were fighting for a spot on the list and now you've made your AFL debut. Have you had a chance for that to sink in, how far you've come so quickly?
No, to be honest, not really. I had to make a choice if I wanted to do SSB at Freo or Richmond within a day. So I really haven't, it hasn't really sunk in yet. But I'm loving it. I'm loving it here. So I obviously chose, the right decision. And I'm loving it.
And what did JL and the coaching staff say to you about how to go about your first game?
Well, they obviously, they got me in just to, just my pressure. I'm 450. We knew that they really didn't. Their pressure factor in the last 2 games were really low, and just bring the heat, to be honest. And their half backs do really get up, and we can capitalise on the other way, and we really showed that tonight. So
All right, let's head upstairs. We've got Clint Wheeldon, Mitch Turner, and our experts, Sharad Wellingham and Cara Antonio.
Chris, Sharad here, mate. Congratulations on your debut. It was an awesome game, and I thought you had an amazing impact, mate. So, What have you done at training over the last, what'd you say, 30 days that you've been on the list at Freo? So what have you done over the last 6 weeks, that's 4 weeks, that's got you into position to play in round 2?
Oh, to be honest,
Is
mate,
it round 1 or round 2?
Nah,
round 2.
round 2 now, mate. To be honest, just, backing in my speed and my pressure, look, just showing my pressure at trainings and that, and just, the ability to take the game on, but also, put pressure on the backs to force, turnover or whatever. But
You're obviously only 19 years old, so you're still early on in your career. How have you found the education side and slipping into an AFL system with the amount of information that's getting fed and the game style? How easily did you grasp onto that?
Oh, well, to be honest, when you have boys around you that make it so easy, especially Switter, Vossi in the forward line, mate, you can pick it up pretty quickly. So,
Nice and instructive, are they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, Vossi, the principal, he loves it.
How have you found him in the gym? Because I've seen some footage of him in the gym, and he's a bit of a beast. How going from we were talking about playing Essendon League to an AFL league with these massive bodies. How have you found that?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a big step up. I was playing obviously VFL last year and then still playing local for Strathmore, in our finals. So really it's only been 6 months between local and to AFL really now. Yeah, it's obviously a massive difference, but I'm just got to back myself. So
Nice, good work.
Chris, Cara Antonio here, congratulations on the win and the debut. How many friends and family did you have in the stands here tonight?
Oh, heaps. Well, typical me, I'm, Maltese, so the whole fam came over, so 10 of my mates as well flew last night, and then my immediate family and then my auntie and uncle, so I think 25 to 30 all up. Wow. So it's pretty a lot. If I was playing in Melbourne, it'd probably be a bit more, but
beautiful and fantastic first game by yourself. I'm just interested, you haven't been around the club for that long, but is there anyone that in particular that's taken you under their wing and really looked after you leading into your first game?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, Sam Switter, so the club really see like for like. I just really learn from him. He's so respected internally in our four walls, and I just try to look up to him, and he's just a better bloke, to be honest. He's unreal.
Chris, who'd you grow up supporting?
Unfortunately, Carlton. So so
unlucky, mate.
I know. Actually, I cancelled my membership 3 years ago. So.
You didn't do what so many Carlton supporters have done and throw it in the microwave at some stage.
Nah, never, mate.
Well, welcome to the purple army.
Chris Sherry is with us downstairs, debutant for Fremantle tonight. Where does your pace come from, Chris? Is that mum's side of the family or dad's? Because you were electrifying this evening.
Oh, I reckon my old man, to be honest. Obviously, he's probably not quick now, but I reckon my old man. He used to play. So I reckon so.
Okay. When you get a chance and you get an opportunity, what we love watching you tonight, and that's what we saw with some of the highlights when you were playing in the Essendon District League, was your ability to use your pace and take players on. Was that something that Justin said? You just back yourself on your debut?
Yeah, well, he did. He obviously, games don't really get gifted, so I just they obviously back me, and I'm just here to do my role, and
And always like to ask this question of debutants. How well did you know the Freo Club song when you got around and had to sing it first time?
Mate, I probably still don't know it. We have a new part. we have a new part early on, so I'm still getting the hang of it. But I'll pick it up soon, I reckon.
Chris, Mitch Turner here. Glad to hear you learning the song. There's a lot of Dockers fans that wish they didn't know the song because it's not the most popular one in the league. But
it's definitely not the worst.
You'll grow to.
It's not the worst.
You'll grow to love it, Chris. There was a couple of times tonight where obviously you set up a lot of play and were involved in scores, but you were almost on the end of it. Did you start to have your eyes light up when you were almost on the end of the chain running inside 50? Could you sniff a goal?
To be honest, I like setting up goals. So really, everyone loves a goal, but I really like setting up goals. And to be honest, I probably could have got one later on, but just just focused on my role, really. Yeah.
And as we, what we saw tonight, we expect to see a lot more of you going forward. We actually see on the screen right now talking. There was a camera on you just then, Chris. We want to get to know you a little bit more, like Clint said. And what was life like outside of footy when you got picked up? Like, what were you spending your days doing before you got the chance to train and get signed by Fremantle? What would have been the plan this year if you were playing VFL footy and you weren't playing AFL?
Well, to be honest, I'm still doing uni right now, so I was doing that full-time last year, obviously just doing one subject, and I was still working at my old high school in St Bernard's back in Essendon. So, yeah, I was just coaching there, really, a couple of days a week, and also, doing uni through that, so, yeah.
So what are you studying, Chris?
Commerce, so in my second year now. Yeah, I'm loving it, so.
Absolute last one, because we wanted to get you to family and friends to celebrate, but you were talking about Paddy Voss, bench pressing and so on. Have you ever seen him bench press a player before? Where were you when that happened? He tried to put Ed Langdon over the fence. That was amazing.
Mate, I was right there. I didn't expect it from him. I was like, he gets pretty, he goes crazy when he's up and about, but to be honest, not many key forwards can do what he do in terms of in the air and at ground level, and he's just an unbelievable bloke as well. He's just a good bloke.
We enjoyed talking to you. Congratulations on the debut. It's a massive moment, and you were outstanding out there. Well played.
Thanks so much, guys.
Good on you. Chris Sherry downstairs, picked up by the Dockers as their supplemental selection, and then just after being at the club for 31 days gets a chance to debut. And what a debut it was. We mentioned those numbers before, but they are worth repeating on debut. 20 disposals, 7 contested, 6 ground ball gets, 2 marks, 4 inside 50s, a couple of tackles as well, and 1 mark inside 50. Well done to Chris Sherry on debut. Hopefully he has a long career, the 19-year-old.
You noticed see all of his friends there with the 45 on the back and on the screen.
What a moment for him. And Cash Fodor, who was floating behind as well.
He seemed more nervous talking to us than debuting, I reckon.
So did Cash when he spotted the camera just then. He got out of there quick, smart. It's just funny watching Tom McDonald has been doing his running because he wasn't in the side tonight. 249 games. He's still waiting for 250. But Daniel Turner, who got injured in that first half, and it was a hand injury or wrist injury, so he has to do his running still. So although he missed the last 2.5 quarters, Melbourne are like, well, you still got to get the case.
Got to get your case in, mate.
So he's out there strapped up and he's just running after the game, which is a pretty disappointing way to finish your night when you're injured. You don't see the injured players having to do the running very often.
This will, because these things always do, this will be a major discussion point this week. And I remember the last time it happened up in Sydney, but it wasn't involving these players. But Patrick Voss's reaction early doors against Melbourne, where he gave Petty a pat on the head and then imitated that he was crying. And this has come up before. I was against Brisbane, not Sydney, I apologise, but it's come up before, and I just wonder whether or not this will be looked at by the AFL and what would happen from it here. I like that Patrick Voss gets up and about, but that was probably, if it's what we suspect it may have been for, that was possibly over the top. And I think, although he's a bit like Hayden Ballantyne, is that he's one of those players where if he's on your side, you'll absolutely love him. And if he's not playing for you, you'd hope that somebody decks him. But should Paddy Voss focus a little bit more on the game itself? You can celebrate after the goals and go as berserk as you like, but when things aren't going your way, or even if you just happen to win a free kick, maybe he needs to just be a little more reflective on how he goes about things. Am I overplaying this?
No, you're exactly right. I think that there's a level of respect that has to be, respect given to the other players. But in saying that, I don't think that it's up to the AFL to try and control sledging and kind of what gets said. That's probably more so the club having a word to Voss about their standards and how they want to be perceived around the league. And
what happened when it was with Brisbane?
It was
after a goal.
Zorko was involved, and Noah Answorth was the one that really went hard the next time with the tears and the crying kind of mocking. It was the original incident was related to like a personal.
But nothing
matter.
happened. Did he get fined or anything? Or
the AFL investigated it. I can't recall if there was any actual action. And one like this tonight it'll come down to player testimony.
Yeah.
Like, what did he say? Because the action of saying you're a crybaby, they don't have an issue with that because that's just a bit of taunting. But it would come down to the players, Petty, Voss, and there was a number of players around the area. So, if you overstep the line and said something wrong, it goes back to the old-fashioned players' code, Do you believe in the players' code? Or when someone steps over the line, do you say, hey, this is what he said, it was out of bounds, it was uncalled for? So I don't believe in the players' code personally because...
Did Gorney go up and have a chat?
Gorn certainly had a bit to say straight back towards Voss, and then Tracy came in. I'm not sure whether Tracy would have heard any of the incidents. So if we follow this right back, this goes back to 2022 when Dane Zorko said something towards Harrison Petty that was deemed to be of a personal nature about something that else was happening in his life. We don't need to go into exact details. And then 2 years after that, Petty was left in tears from that comment. And then 2 years after that, it was Noah Answorth. Thanks, Mitch. I thought it was Sydney for some reason, but you're right. It was
No,
Answorth.
it's only because I saw it pop up on the screen when you were
played.
actually talking about it.
Well played, you. Noah Answorth had another go. And again, the crying gesture that, you've been brought to tears by us in the past.
Yeah.
And that was investigated, and I don't think it went any further. And I'm happy to be corrected. If you know, let us know, 0437 774 774. But certainly it was looked at. And I don't know what was going through Boss's mind. I don't know whether he was just getting stuck into them because the Dockers at that stage had a good start. I also don't know whether he was patting Petty on the head for any other reason than just to suggest...
he's losing his hair.
You're losing your hair.
Rub the bald spot.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah. Which will happens to most of us along the way. But,
it's not a good look.
No, and that's my point. I'm all for the celebration. I don't even mind a bit of sledging. I don't mind your genuine bit of sledging. But when there's been a past history of that exact incident, I
think it's more of a reflection on Vossi, and I think that it comes down to the line coach or the coach or somebody at the club to kind of just go, mate, that's not what we want to really be known for. That's not how we morally sit.
Yeah, they're pretty good with that stuff, Fremantle, these days. Like Alex Pearce is pretty good in terms of leading some of that stuff within the four walls, and they're pretty good at stamping out that kind of stuff. Generally, the thing with Patrick Voss is he's gotten carried away a little bit in season 2026 early, and it's good sometimes because that's what makes him Patrick Voss. He stands there face to face with Jath and decides, I'm just going to try and throw you off, and it leads to a Fremantle goal. But then he has occasions like last week in the final quarter against Geelong, gave away a really ill-disciplined 50-metre penalty when there was still enough time in the game for Fremantle to kick 2 goals to win, and he puts them inside 50. He's just a couple of times... How do you manage that, though, Cara? Because that is why you have him.
Correct.
Because if he doesn't play that way, he won't be in the team.
No.
Because that's how he plays well.
100. And I was reflecting about this last year when he started playing really well, and it goes back to Tracy when he first started, and he was a little bit the same, not as heightened as Paddy Voss, but would throw his body around and, couldn't get near it sometimes, so would give away silly free kicks. But now, obviously, Tracy's matured and he's build up the strength. He's so lean and strong. He's found his footprint, I suppose, in the footy club, and I feel like Voss is still trying to find that. So it's about finding that fine line, about playing hard footy, and you bring this to the team. We want you to bring it, but don't bring any more attention needed to the situation or yourself.
Let's take a little bit of Stephen King's press conference downstairs, the Melbourne coach.
Difficult from quarter time after you give a team like that a head start.
Looked like you might make a game of it through that second quarter. Where do you think it, broke down in the third?
Well, we got looks in the third. We're just inefficient going inside 50, just a little bit disconnected, and clearly the way we wanted to play is not embedded yet. Really pleased with the group to not capitulate and throw the towel in. So, at quarter time, things could have got really ugly. As a coach, I love the response of the group. But it's certainly a steep learning curve for a few of our young players on the road. Whether it was preparation, whether it was us not as a coaching group, not being really clear around how the game should look, because I thought the second quarter was how we wanted it to look. Just didn't get it at the start, unfortunately, when it matters most.
How do you get your head around the fumbles and turnovers and just the basics that they got wrong in that first quarter, which lost you the game?
Yeah, the ability, we know Fremantle are really clean. They take the tackle on, use their hands and their numbers. So that was a focus of us coming here today. So yeah, really disappointing. Just that pressure away can swamp you at times, and yeah, we didn't deal with it well enough. So that was really obvious to everyone watching. Our fundamentals weren't up to speed. So I'm not going to make excuses for that. They put us under enormous pressure, and we weren't able to handle it tonight, unfortunately.
Such a positive week last week, Stephen. How do you handle a result like this? Is it a bit of a reality check from the side, or is it more just a teachable moment?
Yeah, I think it's what lessons do you learn from the game. Everyone's disappointed. It's a real disappointment if you don't take anything out of it. So I try and stay really consistent. Last week was great, but we didn't hang on to that for too long. We knew we had a 6-day break to travel to Perth, and I thought we prepared well enough for it. But it'll be probably just reviewing the why and what's going to help us win against Carlton in 8 days.
You went with the Sarong tag.
Yeah.
Brayshaw gets off the chain. How do you manage that?
Yeah, and I think, they're both amazing players. Colton did such a good job last week, and he was great this week. And I wanted to give him the credit he deserved. That was a matchup we could have stayed with the whole game. I'm sure if we jumped off Sarong early, he would have popped up. And yeah, it was probably more about our method around the ball and some breakdowns with our shape around the footy that gave Brayshaw the time, and that was the most disappointing thing. Their endeavour to work contest to contest versus ours early in the game was quite stark, and he's very good at that, and he was the beneficiary of some time and space, and Fremantle being cleaner than us around the footy.
And you lost Daniel Turner quite early as well.
Yeah.
Did that sort of affect your defensive?
Yeah, it hurt, obviously. I thought CJ and Housey, battled and did well, undersized a little bit, but certainly had to change a couple of things with the way we went about it, so it's not ideal. But hopefully, it's a hand injury, and hopefully it's not too bad.
Do you know what sort of hand injury?
Not yet. I think it's obviously to come out of the game. There's obviously some swelling there in his hand, and I'll wait till we get scanned to sort of give comment.
Max Gorn was huge
today.
What do you have to do to ensure he doesn't burn out this season, because his workload is probably going to be bigger than ever? Yeah,
it's something we need to keep mindful of. Max is a true professional and preparer, so he'll make it really hard for us to manage him, that's for sure, but we'll keep an eye on it. Tonight was a unique challenge with a couple of rucks, and Jackson being the athlete he is. We had a plan for that, which we had to change up a bit because of the Turner injury. But Max Heath was one of our best today at Casey. So it's just a matter of sort of team selection, what you do with that 5 on the bench, whether you play the double rucks or, that's something we'll monitor throughout the year.
Stephen King downstairs in the Melbourne rooms. Let's get the 3, 2 and 1, because we're almost out of time. Shard Willingham, Cara Antonio.
Yep. So the one tonight, we've gone for Josh Tracy, the big kahuna. 17 touches, 12 of those contested, 10 marks, 5 inside 50 and the 4 goals. The 2, Shea Bolton, his best game, as we mentioned, for the club. And the 3, Andy Brayshaw tonight for us.
Well, that makes it nice and easy for the Christian Medal. Don't even have to do any work at all. They just slide across. 3 to Tracy, 2 to Bolton, and 1 to Brayshaw. Richmond next for Fremantle. Melbourne, as you heard Stephen King say down there, Carlton will be their opponent. That's the Sunday late game at the MCG. Tomorrow, 2 games after, firstly, Sunday AFL with Matt Clinch, and then please join us for the Sunday Footy Forum. We'll then take you to Port versus Essendon in Adelaide, and then we'll be back here again for West Coast versus North Melbourne to wrap up the round. I still find it weird that West Coast and North looking for, a second game when other teams have already completed their third and just chilling out. And anyway, Justin Lomuir will be very happy that no one will be asking him his thoughts on opening round this week, so he'll silence those people around the nation that had those sorts of questions. Anything else stand out for you, Sharad, Kara?
I think, well, it's not a positive, but my big standout is the Darcy conundrum. I mean, it's a good issue to have. They've got a backup.
Will they use it?
Yeah. Or are they just going to continue to roll him out there because they've given him a big contract?
And get minutes into him. Be interesting. The one for me, I think, stand out tonight, and just finally it's taken him a year or two, but Shea Bolton to have a really outstanding game. We knew what he could produce at Richmond, and he comes up against his old side next week, but really good to see him play a lot of minutes inside and do what he does best and hit the scoreboard tonight.
Yeah, that was a really, really impressive game.
And well done, Clint Wilden, 500 AFL.
Well done,
yes.
yeah.
Well, it's a big really.
That's what he really wanted us to say.
No, he really, really didn't. Thank you, everybody. It's been very kind, particularly for people who text in as well. It's nice of you all. Let's recap the win for Fremantle. 48 points, the good over Melbourne. Thanks for your company. Good night. Bolton marks on his chest, 51 from goal. Hands it off to Brayshaw. Andrew Brayshaw goes long from 50 and kicks the Dockers first of the game.
Now Salem comes in off support. Sherry in his first game got it to Johnson. His handball missed. Ball bobbling around inside the Dockers 50. It's working its way towards goal. Great pick up by Johnson. Handball to Murphy Reid. And there's Murphy Reid's first goal in front of the home fans this season.
O'Driscoll, hand pass across half forward, it comes to Bolton, runs the 51 out, he heads for goal, he kicks the sixth for the Dockers in the opening term.
Just beyond left half back, wheel inboard, kicks long from where it came, big fist from Pearce at the back, spills over to Sharp, gathers for the Demons, runs to 60, kicks towards the vacant, goal square, how will it bounce? It bounces true.
The Gawn, he went up, stains out, Cozzy Pickett, burns off Jackson, steps inside Clark. Oh, that is miraculous. What a stunning goal that is from Cozzy Pickett. All the skills, all the pace. It's as good as you're going to see.
Play on call, handball over the top, looking for Lindsay, stolen by Swinkowski. The Dockers answer back. Comes to Sarong from the wing, kicks up towards Dudley, handball to Murphy Reid, runs to 45, put it in the book. Chapman can launch the Dockers inside 50. Tracy sets himself, and Tracy marks. The bright boots, the bright lights, the perfect drop punts, and the double cobra to the crowd.
Sarong gathers off the deck, spins, shoots, goal. Wonderful finish.
Coming through Dudley, won the ball, got the handball to Bolton, shakes one, shakes two, handball to Jackson, back to Dudley, snap on goal, deadly Dudley does it again.
Dudley coming out, tried to mark it, couldn't. Socket off the ground by Reid inside 450. Here's Dudley again! Rose on the outside of the right boot. Oh, dynamic! Howes, he's just decided to lift Langdon up in the air and take him over the boundary line. And for a moment I thought he was going to ragdoll him and throw him into the crowd. Almost WWE sort of stuff then for the big fella Patrick Moss.
Judd McBee into the pocket, Jackson. Luke Jackson, drop punt is on the way. He turns to the Dockers faithful and says, let me hear you. Fremantle's season finally leaves the dock. Their first win of 2026 gets them on the board and gives Stephen King his first loss as the Demons coach. The Dockers win.